Nerf herder.
We got one more Nerf herder in the house, and we got a few more coming in late. Check him out, ladies and gentlemen. There he is. He brought the saber.
What's up, guys?
Brought the saber.
Whip it out, Ed.
Whip it out.
I always do.
When in doubt.
I know. It's my
When in
favorite part.
doubt.
Yeah, when in doubt.
When in doubt. Hey, check it out. So already, guys,
Yeah.
Australia, our friend down under, Mr. Robert there.
What's going on, zombie?
What's up?
Hope you're doing
Cap
well, my
Spalding,
friend.
hello.
Captain Spalding.
Hey, wait a minute. So I'm international. So I got one from Canada. I'm not opening it today. But right there, Cap Spalding. Speaking of Cap Spalding, look at that. A box full of horror.
That's great.
Did I say horse? Or horror?
Horror.
Over. So tomorrow or Friday, we're gonna be doing that one. Who else we got in here?
Awesome.
Everybody's under 6 a.m.
Yeah.
And he's up early for us, brother.
Holy smoke, zombie.
Captain Spalding, check this out.
Ooh, let me blow that up. Let me blow that up, brother. Hold on a minute. Nice. What's in there?
Schwanky. Ghostface.
You want to play a game?
Yeah.
Tell me how badass that is. Blue Eyes found out at her work.
That is sweet, dude.
Yeah.
Mr. B's in the house.
Mr. B, what's up?
What's up, Mr. B? Good to see you, brother.
Nice.
Figure there.
I don't have any figure. What am I gonna do? Here. Let me.
What's that? Oh wow, that's a nice one. Woo.
Here's a little microphone.
I like
I
it.
don't have any figures around me.
It's also a microphone. It's just disguised as a.
He said he just got Lord of Darkness from McFarlane. Nice.
Very cool.
Very cool.
Nice.
Very cool. Well, yeah. Well, what's the man?
Well-
I did a fairly short, just my first thoughts on what I saw, and I've already gotten a shit ton of comments that call me a shill and all this kind of shit, and like.
So that's where we're at, right? So like,
I didn't realize being kind of neutral and not fucking hating it. Like,
I mean,
would think you
we could very easily, we talked about this in the preview panel. We could very easily find all this stuff to pick apart, which I'll probably do content on at some point. But I feel like the purpose of doing this was just to watch it and then just talk about what we saw rather than come at it with any kind of angle like that, the toxicity and the anger. Now, look. You don't have to like every single thing that says Star Wars on it. You know what I mean? And
no, I certainly haven't liked everything.
And that's okay. But it's like all we're doing is trying to be subjective here, like Siskel and Ebert kind of thing. I watched the show. This is what I saw. This is what I like. This kind of struck me as odd, It's like if you like it, you're a shill, and if you don't like it, you're a hater. So I don't know. I'll tell you what, though, the first few minutes in, I was watching and I was like, okay, the music was cool, like the orchestral arrangements. You know what I mean? It had an old school vibe. I had some prequel vibes.
Pretty cool. It was different, but it was still Star Warsy.
I caught prequel vibes. I caught original trilogy vibes in episode 2. So it's like it wasn't necessarily direct callbacks, but there was a feel there.
Mm-hmm.
So I appreciated that. And I was just like sitting there going, man, am I finding myself liking this or not? Like I had to look back and watch things again and look at some things. And, I have some issues too, but I figured we'd talk about episode 1 first and then talk about the second episode afterwards, obviously. But it's funny when you watch 2 episodes.
That's a good idea. 1 and then 2.
It's fresh in your mind is what you just saw. So
1 and then 2. How revolutionary.
Yeah. But it screws you up because when you watch it like that, you immediately want to call back stuff that you just saw in the second one because it's the most fresh in your mind, I really felt like the pacing of the story was kind of slow in the first one. And I'm not saying that's bad. It was just kind of slow. You're like, well, I've heard a lot. Now I want to see what I've heard, if it's true or whatever about the story. You didn't really get a ton of details, but you were seeing things happen. There were some things happen that I questioned. But I figure when I have those questions that hopefully it plays out later and I get my answers, So I'm going to be real bland right there until we all have that little talk and then we'll get deeper into it. What's your first impression?
Think,
so I went into open-minded. I had my favorite character right off the rip is the one that dies in the very beginning. Black called out, and I thought she was awesome. And Indara, is that how you say her name, Indara?
Yeah, Indara, yeah.
Okay. So, and Lax said that he didn't really like the Crouching Tiger thing, but the second time I watched it, because I listened to it at work again today, that fight style, it did put you mind Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, but I think it was a nod towards the Matrix. She does the climb up the wall thing real quick. The music even had a Matrix vibe. And I kind of feel like they did that in honor of her character.
I can see that.
The
only go ahead. Sorry.
I'm sorry. No, you go for it. Go for it.
I was just gonna say the only part when the assassin girl jumped up the stairs.
Yeah.
Kind of in the beginning of her fight with the well, I guess it wasn't in the very beginning, but when she jumped up on those stairs, that was the only Crouching Tiger vibe I got.
Yeah.
And I thought for a split second, I went, oh, I hope we don't see too much of that.
Well,
but I thought immediately after that, it mostly calmed down.
After your review, I thought that too. And then when I watched it again, and I keep saying Trinity, but Indara, when she climbs up the thing real quick, like that, and then she fights her, it really had a Matrix vibe to me. And that music felt Matrixy.
Yeah, I could see that now that you mentioned.
I think that's why they did that. I mean,
it was just that initial jump when the bad girl flew up the stairs.
Yeah,
to that balcony. That was the only she was spread out and she looked like a cat and she was flying, and that was the only. And it was just for a split second. And I thought, oh, I hope we don't see too much of that. And after that, I didn't see much of what I felt was that kind of
quick speculation. When she fought her. And she pulled down her mask and she's like, what are you doing here or whatever, right?
Wait, her move. Fight me with all of your power.
Yeah.
That was
like, she's doing this again?
That was pretty cheesy the first time I heard it, and it was even more.
Yeah, it was cringe after that.
Yeah, it was. That's
Ed.
Fight me with all your
bring all the reptiles.
And then she takes her mask.
Sorry to interrupt. It just was.
I'm going to speculate for just a second, okay?
Yep.
She said that Jedi don't strike first, basically. Like, and I don't know how she worded it for sure, but basically that's what she said. And she's like, yes, they do. And I was like, what is that about? What is that about?
And then she said something about the weapon only to kill or something.
Yeah. And so that made me wonder, like, I don't know, man. I'm really speculating, okay?
They were trying to make up some new rules for us there.
Well, but I also think, and this is full speculation, and Blue Eyes was on board with this too. Maybe May didn't burn down that house. Okay, and maybe there's a couple encrypted Jedis out there that we don't know about yet.
Like it was a manipulation.
Because she was like, yes, they do, or whatever, and it's like, what's that about?
Right.
And then why would she? And then like when she pulled down her mask, I almost think that she knew that was May. You know what I mean? Like she knew that wasn't the other one. You know what I mean?
She checked for that tattoo.
Exactly.
She moved her hair out back.
So she was like, there was
what's the other girl's name? Osha.
And Osha had a new tattoo, and that played too because what was his name? Indara. Indara. He said, "What's this?"
No, Saul.
I'm sorry, Saul.
Yeah, her previous
It's hard to remember all these names.
Yeah, I got you.
Saul seen that tattoo. He's like, "What's this?" She's like, "Oh, this was just after a fun night or whatever." But that tattoo's going to play too because they're going to be able to tell the difference between the two of them,
right?
With the tattoos, I think. So I think they did that for a reason. But I think there's some manipulation with the Jedi. I think this is going to hey, Sasquatch. But I think that's going to lead into something, man. I think there's something shady going on there.
Yeah, there's definitely, and when the bald-headed green Jedi came to the Jedi,
I remember her name.
I don't know any of these actresses or actors, but she immediately made the comment about, well, we need to deal with this on the low down, because we don't want any kind of backlash from people who don't support us, So it definitely makes me think that the initial fire that obviously the woman thinks was caused, the death and destruction of the family, she obviously thinks was committed by the Jedi. If it is true, which it must be because of the guilt that the floating guy had.
Yes,
obviously there's some sort of Jedi conspiracy where they
what do you say? We thought we were doing the right thing or something?
Yeah.
She's taking out 4 Jedi.
They killed all them people.
She wants to kill 4 Jedis for some reason.
Right.
And the first one was Indara, and she knew something was strange when she said, "What are you doing?" You know, so something is up right there. Maybe Indara was a
Here
bad
she
guy.
said, "What is it, my child?" When she first
Yeah.
approached the table, she called her a
Well, she
child.
didn't know
She didn't even
what
need
it
to see
was.
behind the mask. She could
Right.
tell.
Well, I think that's
Right.
just how Jedi speak.
But let's
like
back
a
that up.
reverend, you know, or
Okay.
a father.
So we're already
would
talking
say.
episode 2 stuff, but let's back that up a little bit. So Lack, you always have this complaint or this thing that you notice with the aliens. So right when they walked into that first scene where Ed's talking about at the table, it was kind of cool, but it seemed a little cramped, seemed a little small, don't you think? Like we had the bartender who looked like a new species. I think you mentioned, what was it you said? You said something, the Jawa or something, the
Oh, the
unclothed,
Jawa at the very
I'm
beginning.
positive
the
that
unrobed
was a Jawa.
Jawa.
I'm
Yeah,
positive that was a Jawa.
Yeah, me
Positive.
too.
After the second time I watched it, I was like, oh, because for one, she went straight to that. We're gonna say Jawa.
Okay.
She went straight to that Jawa and paid him off and said, "Where's the Jedi?" She
Right.
knew, you know, Jawas all they're about is money and trade. They don't care
Right.
about. They have no, you know, what I mean, unless with their own species, they don't care about anybody else.
All right. Yeah.
So you know that right there.
I remember a comic, or it had to have been a comic, but it might have been like a graphic novel or whatever. But we've seen a Jawa years ago, like in the 90s, an unmasked Jawa. And it was very much, it had tubes on its eyes like a Tuscan.
Yes.
And it had I remember it having more of like a breathing apparatus.
Yep.
And not so much that ball.
Yeah, we were on the
That
same
had to-
page.
yeah, that was totally a Jawa.
Yes,
and I thought that immediately. I was like, that's an unmasked Jawa. That's
absolutely
fucking cool.
Absolutely.
Let's talk about this too. Like they brought the scroll a little bit different.
Yeah.
It's the where we would usually see it, say, in a galaxy far, far away or whatever. Now it's the same blue lettering, but it's this 100 years before the rise of the Empire, time of peace. The Jedi Order and the Galactic Republic have prospered for centuries without war.
Yeah.
So that tells you some stuff had gone on, you know. And then
is revenge right there.
In the dark corners of the galaxy, a powerful few learn to use the Force in secret. It doesn't necessarily mean Sith yet, though, right? It just means that they learned Force users. And one of them, a lone assassin, risks discovery to seek revenge. Is that the girl or is that the dude in the crazy mask, the gimp mask?
I think
she is the lone assassin, isn't she?
I think so.
So what I've learned about the Sith through everything we've watched, they're manipulators.
Right.
They're manipulators. You know, like I'll save Padme, Anakin. You know what I mean? They're manipulators. They use that to manipulate. And I feel like I'm sorry I'm rambling on you guys, but I'm
That's
like
okay. Go ahead, man.
No,
go ahead.
ramble on.
Make sure you save some. Make sure you save some for your stream later.
Oh, I will.
Everybody, make sure you go to Ed's channel after this.
I got
too.
some G.I. Joes open on my stream, so I'll be
cool.
doing a lot
There
of
we
G.I.
go.
Joe stuff.
We're gonna read that all a million times. It'll be fine.
But I was just on my bandwagon. I just screwed it up. My train of thought. But so I feel like that Sith knows, you know, that she is after revenge, and he's going to use her to kill these 4 Jedi.
Right.
And I feel that these 4 Jedi might have something to do with her whole family getting wiped out in the fire. Okay. And the reason why I feel that way is because the floating guy that we were talking about, this is what really, really turned the page for me. The floating guy was willing to take his own life. He was feeling some kind of guilt that he couldn't grasp. You know, I think that's why he was in his solitary meditation thing, because, you know, he had something he was dealing with. And I think she took advantage of that. And that's why she offered him that poison.
Yeah.
The fire, you know, too, because we have to go backwards and put these things together, right? Like a mystery. So it's like the fire could have been a distraction from whatever bigger thing was going on, or a result of these dark side Force users fighting.
Collateral damage.
It was like a secret, because, you know, like the green chick said, we don't want this to get out.
Yeah.
Keep it hush.
Yeah, they're obviously into.
I'm thinking she's in on it too, right?
Oh, she knows.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. She knows something.
Well, she's like I guess she is like supposed to be the Yoda.
Elder. Yeah.
The
like the older of them. Yeah.
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 I don't like that. I think her acting is terrible.
I think her.
What was it like the Babylon 5 makeup? You know,
I
feel like the actress is trying to be like a very, you know, astute, neutral, enlightened individual, but the actress is just not playing it right.
And the makeup to me was so Star Trek-y, I thought. Like you were talking about all these new aliens, which I know Star Wars shows lots of new aliens, and I get it. but I feel like they didn't try too hard on her makeup, and I feel like the apprentice to Yord, the chick. I felt like they were just grabbing at straws with aliens. You know what I mean? Like I kind of feel like there's so many other aliens we could use. You know that like a Greedo or somebody. You know, like some that kind of species.
Yeah, it's totally. I like to see a new alien, but
just like don't overwhelm us with them. Yeah,
Well,
because
I noticed a lot of the aliens all like the bartender, and we saw a couple other just throughout the thing, but a lot of them have that same structure, right?
Yeah.
They're all like half
hammer.
hammer. Yeah, they're all out here like this, and that reminded me of like Andor. We saw a lot of aliens like that in Andor, also.
Yeah,
right, where they're different aliens, but they all have that same hammerhead style look, and like maybe that's just something easy to create, and that's why we're seeing so many that are similar like that. Maybe that's just a production thing where it's
So,
but
let me ask you guys this too. So in this scene right here, when the fight starts,
yes,
May had already jumped up to the upper level, and she jumps on her little C-3PO communicator and says, "We got a hot one
we
here."
have a
Who's she talking to? Nobody came. Nobody even talked about it.
no, she's just trying to send a mess. That's how the green
She's
chick,
sending it out to the temple, I take it, right?
Yeah. I thought it was interesting that she's like hanging out in a bar. Like she must be suffering in some way from what happened
said,
also, right?
Well,
like she was in a
May asked the girl, the Jawa or whatever, said, "Where is your Jedi?"
Right, like
so it's like they're placed around the galaxy as security.
That could be too. That could
like
be
peacemakers or whatever. Like where's your sheriff? That's the way I took it. Like where's your sheriff?
Well, that's how I took that part. But then her demeanor in there, I thought was much more like she's playing kind of a loathsome character,
And I have a question about May.
Mm-hmm.
The two fights that she was in.
It's gonna be May.
It's gotta be May. May the 4th. I'm confused, and I don't know if they screwed up or if this is a part of the thing. But she's like, when she fights her, she reaches for her lightsaber. Did you see that? She tries to grab the lightsaber.
Yeah, she kept doing it.
Right. Well, at the very end, where she kills her, she leaves the lightsaber there.
Right.
So
you would have thought she would have collected them.
And then she fights.
Well, wouldn't that have been some way to get you unarmed, and then it would be hand to hand, straight up? I don't know, because she's not supposed to be using the knives.
Maybe that's what she's after.
And she's not supposed to use the knives. And it's such like you said though, it's like a manipulation. Like this, the guy that's the Sith. I'm just going to assume he's a Sith.
Right.
He's telling her all this stuff, and it's like, but he's holding a lightsaber when he tells her. So it's like hypocrisy,
Well, that's
and maybe
her
that's
mission. He must be like he's got trials for her.
He wants it to be a pure
level.
kill or whatever, right?
Well, when May fights, so I'm sorry, Lack. I'm like really excited about this.
All right,
you
guys
too.
go,
I think it was
that's why you're here, brother.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. But when May is fighting Soul, she grabs for his lightsaber too.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
What is the deal with that? Because she left it's not that important if she left it there after she killed Endara.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if they screwed up there or if maybe it's
something we're missing. It's something we don't have filled in.
I think it's either, like you said, she's either trying to disarm them early in the fight, so they have to fight hand to hand, or she's just grasping at it in desperation to then use it. I'm going to
play this.
Somebody in a fight is usually.
I want to play this when she flies up the steps because it is pretty sharp since it's her only scene. Watch that. Whoop, 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 whoop.
That feels like a Matrix vibe to me.
Yeah. But I mean, that's also, remember in episode 1, Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon were doing crazy jumps and fast running and stuff.
True.
So we were. So that's why I was saying
the running.
Mm-hmm.
And how her feet and legs are, it was just almost that. I didn't
really
see Matrix in that. I could see some Matrix in the.
Well, I think it's just like kind of that's
sidestepping, but
those are those little things that are like a callback to the prequels for me. The way she's dressed, the color schemes, the round windows, everything's sort of rounded.
The Jedi robes are definitely
You know what I mean? So this
Cool,
all
and-
gave me a prequel feel, and I feel bad. You know, I don't feel bad, but I feel like I'm pretty amazed. They spent $180 million on this series, 8 episodes. You bring in Trinity. I keep calling her Trinity. You bring her in and you give her to 3 minutes. So I'm guessing, I'm just going to go out here on a guess. We're going to see a lot of flashbacks with her. Why would you waste that?
We will have to see flashbacks because, like, you know, somebody said that this is supposed to be a mystery. And of course, we all, because of the trailers, thought the mystery would be who's murdering the Jedi. But the real mystery is, why is she so mad at the Jedi? And what she obviously
they give you that right away.
Yeah, obviously the fire and the killing of the family is what
for sure
the girl is mad about. So yes, we'll have to have some flashbacks.
And you're definitely going to get the truth all too little, too late, probably.
Right.
You know,
there's
like
also some parts in the trailer. There's parts in the trailer where you see the 4 Jedi. You see the back of the head floating.
Right.
Now we know that. So those are definitely flashbacks. We're gonna get some flashbacks to the catalyst of the why she's seeking revenge. You know, and like maybe we'll find out that, you know, she's mistaken in well, I guess not, because that guy was so guilty. But he could have just been guilty about the family dying and him not being able to save them.
Well, she definitely took out 2 Jedi. She took out Endara. She took out the floating guy.
Yeah.
I believe that she is after Soul. I believe he's the 3rd one.
Yeah, and then Chewbacca. What's his name?
The 4th one. By the
what's
way,
his name? Banaka?
Yeah, I believe he's the 4th one.
He is.
Yeah, they're the 4.
They named him. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And he's secluded. He's secluded. He's in an old wrecked ship.
Yeah, we'll get
everybody's gone Obi-Wan, haven't they? They've
exactly. Yeah. So there's some kind of guilt there with those 4, I believe. And
except for the guys that was Saul, he's obviously has no.
Well, the thing I've got with Saul is when he seen what's her name, Osha. When he seen Osha and she said, "My sister, I think she's alive" or whatever. He's like, "I believe you." He had nothing yet, but just her saying it. Yeah. And he said, "I believe you."
Well, he has a strong affinity for her.
Right.
So there's no.
I mean, they solved all that right away. You know?
Yeah. No, I was just
saying
that
to me because
we were led to believe that
so,
the mystery was not that.
So that's something else I wanted to say. Okay. What was striking me as odd was May's walking around these towns out in the open, and usually a Sith would be in the shadows, hiding out, sneaking in somewhere.
She's not a Sith.
An air shaft. Well, you know what I'm saying. The dark arts, whatever. I think in an air shaft. You know, the person that's the assassin would be never seen, and she's just like, screw it, I'm here.
Well, nobody's looking for her, really. I mean, now there are.
Well, once she did what she did, she still did that approach. But what did you guys think of the droids?
I
the
think
little Pip boy,
that droid that you have on the screen,
the little Pip boy.
That's obviously like a Lola. That's just something.
Yeah,
it's a tiny R2 with all the different things.
We all are going to have to buy our daughters. You know, like
like how Leia had the Lola.
All the different accessories that thing had in it.
Yeah,
and look there's a little R2 right next to it. I don't know if you guys can see that.
Where they said, "Hey, we need to have something for Hasbro to make."
Can you see the little R2 head there?
Oh yeah, I didn't miss that before.
Right there, yeah. I mean, that's what I'm taking it as, but
who knows?
We also had the big beefy security guard droid, kind of a.
I didn't really like him too much.
Pumped up 3PO on steroids.
That's what I was.
The one that takes her to the.
Good job, Brett. That's exactly what I was thinking.
How about this stuff when they were walking out in space?
Yeah, I thought that.
No, I was thinking she's got to have Jedi skills to be able to do that, kind of like Anakin with his pod racing. You know, like only a Jedi could do certain things. Like that's a pretty dangerous job that she's doing. You know.
Yeah. Well, she was trained, so she
was with the other guy.
Yeah,
but then she couldn't use the Force. She couldn't use the Force to get her.
Well, just like we saw with Obi-Wan, if you don't use it, you lose it. You know, and you have to.
Or you forget.
I'm sure we will see her regain her Force abilities in some sort of time of.
Yeah. Like that kind of brought. That was kind of another callback for me. Like when Luke was in the Wampa cave, and he couldn't get it.
Right.
He had to center himself. Like she didn't do that. She panicked because when she saw that, like earlier on, she had seen the fire. She's like right here. She's thinking of those memories or whatever.
Right.
And it's painful. And we didn't know why.
too. You know, he was
Yeah,
like,
and we didn't know why that would bother her.
When they were kids and they were talking like in her dream or whatever, and they were like two, and they had those little riddles like two of us are one and all that stuff that she was saying.
Yeah.
Now I'm
Pay attention. That's probably a
speculating.
lot of the story right there.
I'm completely speculating, but what if? And this is a far what if. But what if both of these girls become Siths? What if when she finds out that these Jedi did have something to do with it?
no, I could.
What if they're actually?
Gonna come out.
What if they're actually one person? Because they said, what did Saul tell the kids? What did Saul tell the younglings? Before he said time for lunch, he said, your eyes will deceive you. Don't trust them.
Don't trust them. Oh my God.
I guess I could see that.
God, Brett.
See, dude? See?
I thought
it gets deep, brother.
I thought they were the same person there.
God damn it, Lack, agree with me.
No, I mean, I could see that.
I could see something like that happening.
I'm just fishing.
No, I thought that for a little while until we saw her on the prison ship not being able to reach for her.
Sure.
For her droid. And then I was like, oh, it must be a twin. But I thought that too, you know, like there's like what do you call it?
It's just like we can kind of walk the path that we've been used to seeing for the last few years in these movies with the
and there's the one alien, but though it's from the prequels.
Yes, the continuity now.
If you were gonna bring anybody back, you know, and these guys
don't
talk, and well, they don't talk like that in this.
No, they straighten them out.
Which is funny. I was telling my wife one time, but like it wasn't a big thing, but when the prequels came out, you know, there was definitely a lot of people that said, "Oh yeah, God,
him and Jar Jar." Oh yeah, they were shitting all over George Lucas.
Like that. That's so racialism, you know. And now they don't talk like that. So it was just one tribe apparently.
Now with what Brett was saying about them being the same, okay, I'm going to vouch for you for a minute, Brett. Soul says to her or to them that he's seen May's body. He's seen her die. You remember that?
Yeah.
But remember when Luke Skywalker, if we're talking from 2012 forward, right? So Luke Skywalker force projected himself very well, might I say, enough to do a lightsaber battle with Kylo Ren, right? So I don't know. So that type of stuff was just popping in my head, like,
well, her mom.
This ain't your mama's Star Wars no more. So you got to kind of look at things a little bit differently, you know.
Grasping the straws, though, her mind could be fluttered like that, where she is two people and she can't use the Force when she's. I
don't know
when she's.
Well, when she shot her sister with that stun gun, and it looks like missed on purpose, right? Because Saul gave her that look.
Exactly, and he's looking at her like, "No, I know you're a better shot."
So if she was projecting, then who was driving that speeder? What was going on there? Right.
It could be in her head. It could be in her head. I mean, who knows? I mean, that's
so many. It's so much. So many things to speculate. Right. And are they really going to answer?
The one has that tattoo. The bad one has that.
That's
tattoo.
True. That's true.
So, everybody sees that, right? Because the one girl said, "Oh, it's you," knowing.
I took that to be a mark of the witches' coven.
Right.
Because we haven't even seen anything with these witches yet. So maybe that's where they scooped her up out of the woods and when she was believed to be dead.
And then
they scooped her up and did like they did to Savage.
Yeah.
Oppress, and they did all the crazy. I'm not saying it's the same witches, but they did the same kind of thing. They scooped him up, made him work for them.
Right.
And that could be part of this, that this person in this
because she saw her face and then she checked for the tattoo.
Right. And so the dude in the zipper mask
knew it was there.
Like what Thrawn did with the witches of Dathomir. The dude in the zipper mask could have a deal with these witches. Who knows? It seems like a lot of these tropes
in the trailer.
Yeah, and it seems like a lot of these tropes follow these same kind of threads sometimes. So I think they're going to reveal it.
The Jedi robes, the white and gold Jedi robes are pretty fucking cool. I have to say.
They are.
Yeah, I will be getting some of those figures for some customs for sure, because that is a cool outfit right there.
And since we're saying past 2012.
Just because that's where we're at, you know, I'm not trying to talk about like the past, or I want to talk about the shows. You know what I mean?
Well, that's where the issue lies, and
definitely,
I'm not trying to be negative, but you know, there's a lot of people out there watching new Disney Star Wars and wanting it to make them feel like 1977.
Yes,
and like that's just not going to happen. I never liked the special editions. You know, like to me,
right?
The special editions were this huge faux pas of a shit fest, because it took away from what our Star Wars was.
Mm-hmm.
And some people agreed with me at that time,
Right.
but to now forget that idea going into a Disney produced Star Wars, it's not gonna feel like 77. It's not gonna happen.
Sure.
And the best we can hope for is that someone writing says, hey, let's put Greedo in there because it will tickle the fancy of some 40 to 60-year-old fans,
Right.
And we still want as many people to watch as possible. So,
Yes.
but yeah, it's not going to ever make you feel like that. And if you're looking for that, then I think you're not paying.
Well, there you go, Ed. Read that.
It's impossible for Osha and May to be one because you follow her when Torben was.
That is a good point, Mr. B. I forgot about that. That's right. She broke away and was followed. Right?
So,
but did the dark side?
That's right. That is right.
Thing?
Yeah. So the 3PO with the steroids.
I don't know.
He's got a restraining bolt. And the thing about the restraining bolt to me was like, because your droid could do whatever it wanted to do and you wanted to control it. So like, were these like separatist droids and they reined them in to be guards, or they had to hire them off the street?
I don't know, but I think it looks pretty cool though.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
It definitely looks like a guy in a
I'd like
suit.
to see that as a 6-inch Black Series.
Well, that'd be cool. With the 2012 thing, I have one little nitpick, and it's small, but I'm gonna go ahead and say it.
I think go ahead.
Indara gets stabbed with that blade in her chest. She dies, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sabine on Ahsoka gets stabbed with a lightsaber and lives.
Right.
Okay. Right. I mean, in my mind, a lightsaber can burn through things. You know what I mean? Like Ahsoka threw down the 2 lightsabers and burnt the hole, and she went down in the ground. Remember that? Like, so those lightsabers are strong enough to cut through stuff, just like Qui-Gon on episode 1 where he cuts the hole.
That's the door.
So they're bad news, right?
Yeah.
A small blade in her chest. I mean, I understand it could have hit her in the heart or whatever, but it was like
she was a good shot. It did look like a good shot.
It was a good shot, but like she's done. Like I kind of was like, I don't know. That kind of threw me a little bit because I'm like, I also seen the chick on Obi-Wan get stabbed with a lightsaber.
Right.
It was almost too easy.
Yeah, it was like
all too easy.
Look,
and maybe she has guilt.
In the house, guys.
Let herself go. Rolando.
The Space Bandito.
Motherfucker.
Maybe some fireworks, motherfuckers, and some disco.
How are you doing that, Lag? I've got to know.
It's like the newest iPhone update.
Oh my gosh!
I did it on accident one time.
He's using his phone. It's awesome.
And it just
I love it.
It's
you may fire when ready.
You may fire when ready.
So, what did you think of the ship, Slack? Because we love Luthen's ship.
I thought I thought the ships were pretty cool. I like any ship that has a large surface.
What was wild too was like the Jedi ship looked like a Jedi ship, but backwards.
Yeah, a little bit, didn't it?
The wide part was in the front instead of the back.
Okay.
Like I had expected it. When they turn around right here, it doesn't turn around. It just goes. I'm like, oh shit. Okay. I thought it was going backwards.
I thought it was backwards too, like that. I thought it was backwards too.
Yeah.
But I think they're cool. We seen, other than like the Razor Crest and the N1, but like we haven't really seen any new. I mean, the Razor Crest is the only new ship we've seen.
Everything's always a one of one,
right? And we never see them as like a toy.
For having the budget that they have, this is my nitpick, Ed.
Okay.
Well, this looks like an AI generated image, and it looks like
it's
a model. It looks I don't like how it looks for what they spent on this. Yes, I heard somebody else say, well, it looks
like
looks
a
younger.
practical model though. That building
It looks like a model, it looks newer. I get it, but I just they sat on this scene for so long that it gave me too much time to look at that.
To look at it,
and say that looks like dog shit.
Yeah.
For the budget that they had.
I do like how the Jedi
you do know the bulk of the 180 million went to the vegan catering.
180 million.
The bulk of it went to the vegan catering.
2 million went to production. 178 million
went to vegan catering.
Went to craft services.
For the producers and
Mr. B points out you don't see any traffic either. You can't.
He's right.
It's a multi-level city too. It's levels. Your classes too. Like your poor were in down below, and also just a little history. The temple was on an old Sith temple, and they had people and old Jedi and stuff in cages in the basement of that and pain all the time under Palpatine's rule.
Okay.
Hey, there's one of our invites right there.
Really?
Having some car issues. Kick that thing in the tailpipe, buddy.
That's right. Check for bananas.
He's like, oh, I got one of those. My favorite part though was Saul telling the kids, "Let's go to lunch." That was not necessary in this script.
Yeah.
This was
You don't tell younglings go to lunch. Come on.
I did kind of like how that scene looked, though. I kind of liked how
Definitely, I liked it's clean, and that's the council room, basically,
nice,
right?
Yeah. It's very nice.
I don't know if it's supposed to be the council room,
But it's a throwback to that
right. Yeah,
architecture, I guess. Yeah.
Well, you remember when it wasn't quite like that, but when Obi-Wan came and talked to Yoda when he was training the younglings and looking for a planet he has lost.
Lack.
Right?
There's a joke. Yes. There's a joke going around about this one in the back that looks like an orange Greedo. When Saul says, "Close your eye."
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
It's an orange Greedo before they turn green.
I thought it did have a couple little woke moments in it, but they didn't really bother me very much. I mean,
yeah, I wasn't so concerned with that once it got going because I was like, all right, they're serious about doing something here.
I can't wait for the next. I mean, a lot of people.
I definitely think my least favorite character is this person.
Oh,
I feel she looks Star Trek-y. I feel like
I don't like you trying to like. Obviously, that's a callback to Yoda, man.
No, her acting is, like I said earlier, the actress is really trying to put forth this Kung Fu Zen, appearance and the way she talks and her demeanor, but it's not coming off right. She needs, it wasn't, it's not good. It's not good. Yeah. I feel the only thing, and I'm going to go out on a limb and say this, but I have to say that like the affirmative action casting is quite obvious, and that's not going to make me not watch it, but it's too
You're just going to get told that Star Wars universe is full of different species. You know what I mean? So
right. But it's
you can't win for nothing on that. That's why I'm just like, you know what? Well,
it's not a complaint and it's not a political statement, but it is a fact of observation. Yeah. It's a fact of observation.
And that's why I was like, we're not even going to go there because
that's the only part I'm saying. But it is a fact of
observation. So is this guy a bargain basement? Qui-Gon then?
Luke Kane? No.
Left coast, you got the link, brother. Come on in with us.
I don't know. I think he's pretty cool.
I kind of like him.
I mean, he is the one.
I found myself not liking anybody at first. I'm like the new kid in the class, like screw you.
Well, my thing was when watching him is like who's gonna last? You know what I mean? After seeing Endara killed, it's like who's gonna last? You know what I mean? Who's
what if this is like an entire Empire Strikes Back callback, and they all get killed, and the bad guys win?
Will the bad guy
that blow your mind?
So are we gonna say that the zipper face guy is a Sith or not?
Oh, he has to be, but he's definitely the apprentice, right? Like this is a Maul or Vader who is getting, these other people like the May to do their bidding.
The rule of two,
right? Yeah.
And so let me ask you this then. So if he's the Sith and May's his second or apprentice or whatever, do you think Saul will last until it's him fighting both of them?
Well, he's definitely going to fight the one guy because it appears that we saw that in the trailer.
Yeah, I think he makes it the longest.
Do you think? I'll tell you one that I didn't really care for too much, and I hate saying it because we may end up liking him later, and he may be one of the main characters.
The Wookiee, I know,
is Yord.
Is that the young guy?
I didn't really like him as much.
Yeah, I think we're not.
On, he's all like, I apologize, about the shirt and all that.
I think we're supposed to not like him though. Like he's
because he's very straight laced by the book.
Yeah.
And
but he's also like a cocky, arrogant. The few times that we didn't approve of Anakin's.
Yes.
Antics. Like I think, I agree with you. He's
not. But we also know that.
Yeah.
We also know that Dooku didn't like when people went by the rules because he said that to Mace in the one thing where he says, "Man, you're great, but you go by the rules a little too much." I feel like that's something that's kind of a thing now.
Yeah, I think what
You
we're
know.
saying is definitely like a Dooku Asajj Ventress, though
Yeah.
our
So what did
character
you
may not to the level.
what
So
did
are
you
you-
think about Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch here? And
Oh,
the dude
that
old
was
tongue
bad.
head.
That was
dude-
great.
The dude had the tongue head.
Yeah, he
That
was
was
cool.
That was
Tongue head.
super-
Yeah,
and
he
the-
said it
and the
to Rick
Lobot
said it
guy?
too. Tongue head. There it is. I didn't even
Dude.
see that.
Dude, and the Lobot guy. Yeah, Tonguehead was cool.
Yeah, he
and
was
the
cool.
Tongue head and
Lobot
Fat
dude,
Lobot.
The Lobot guy.
No,
was-
I'm sorry. I can't
Yeah,
call
his
him
face
fat.
was-
That was
his
Lobot
face was
calorie
wild, like the bottom of
calorie
his face
addicted.
was like, yeah, like a
what's
Lobot.
that, Ed?
Yeah, that guy's face looked wild. Like the bottom of his face was like gone. The Lobot looking guy that you're talking
Yeah.
about. The other
and he
side.
he didn't have eyes, so he had like
Yeah,
add on. Yeah, no, that
He was
guy.
cool. I
And
thought he looked
we'll
cool.
never see that figure, but son of a bitch, that is the
He was
cool.
cool.
That
You
is
don't
the,
think you'll
that's
see
the
that?
coolest motherfucker
very
in the whole
creative.
show.
Yeah,
You don't think you'll see old snot nose?
I mean,
Scott knows.
I don't know,
Harmonica face?
dude. That's
What's
the
his name?
coolest. I don't know.
Whatever, he's got
Man,
a
it's like
Nintendo controller.
flesh
has
on a
like a
platter.
Vader
Look at how his
suit
cheeks
on.
his cheeks get cut off.
He's got like a
Dude, that
Nintendo
is the
controller for
coolest
eyes, like the
motherfucker.
A
old
little
school
bit of hair.
NES controller for eyes.
Yeah, that's bad. Yeah, it's like an original.
He's got a Nintendo. He's got a Nintendo
Like,
Switch in the side of his head.
Yeah.
Like his head's on a platter. The lower
Like
jaws,
his neck is like not right. Like
the
Yeah,
jaw's
he's just
gone.
I think
Yeah,
he's a head
he's
on
interesting.
like a robot
It's
body.
your head on a platter.
Dude, that guy's that's the coolest fucking.
yeah,
design.
I thought he was very cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
I need to say too, anybody
Kat.
that's here watching, we are going to be spoiling the shit out of this.
Yeah.
So
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Well, they know.
get ready for the ride.
No,
that's all I'm
the
saying.
coolest.
I should have said that earlier. 45 minutes
What do
in,
you-
I remember.
So what do? We take like a K2SO body and a Dengar head,
Somebody was
and then we could.
somebody, you know, here's the thing, like, think what you want, but somebody in the props department was like, hey, if this is the one that kills it, I'm going for it.
Dude,
You know what I mean?
that's
Because I think they hit it out of the park on some of this stuff.
I
Well, do you
mean,
think he
Tonguehead
was
was
like- he
cool,
was-
but this guy was fucking cool.
Tongue-
Do you
Head
think
was
he
ingenious.
normal at one time, and they put the robot stuff on him like Vader. Like, do you think this was
he
the
has some
beginning
sort
of
of
Right there, he
the beginning of
got him
doing
with the tongue,
that? Yeah,
Yeah, the tongue guy.
tongued him. Whoa, popped it
Oh,
right
Forget
off.
the
with the tongue.
lightsaber whip. This is the tongue right here.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's cool as fuck. Yeah,
I
those
think
guys-
the saber whip's probably going to be our least favorite thing of
Yeah,
all this
I
stuff.
think
Like all
Well,
of this
the
stuff
saber
blows that
whip is
away.
used by the bald-headed green chick, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. So that's. I mean, I don't know. I don't. That
maybe
actor
she'll get offed early and we don't have to worry
is
about it.
doing a terrible job. I just and she wasn't. I mentioned that to somebody, and somebody who even really dislikes the show. And they criticized me. They said, "Well, she was only in it for 5 minutes, you know." And I said, "Well, and it was awful."
It ain't over yet, though.
Yeah, but if
Yeah.
anything took me out of the, oh god, that guy's badass.
Yeah, he's cool. He's cool.
He's got
That
like a
guy-
500-pound head.
Dude, and he's got the Lobot cybernetics in the back.
Robot before the gym,
Dude,
before the workout years.
that guy is cool.
See if I can get him right before he breaks him out.
I hope we get a Wikipedia page on that dude. You know, fuck that guy's. Yeah, if you're gonna make new aliens, make him like Tongue Guy.
Check him out. He's kind of
Yeah,
hefty, man.
See
Yeah,
something,
he's a big
yeah.
old. He's a big old boy. How big old boy are you?
How big a boy are you?
Yeah.
I'll send Sharon Jean down there and whip your ass.
That's right. No, that was fun. And then the dude that she saved with the parasite, like, is he wearing like a Wookiee? Is he wearing like a Wookiee
Pelt
coat?
or something? Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
he's like wearing. He's like
Oh
wearing.
yeah, the guy with the face. The thing.
So
that was
this
Yeah.
this droid becomes the Swiss Army knife R2D2. If you see by her thumbs there's like all these little different device attachments, like a CNC router type thing, you know. Like
why
we
would
can
they even Why would they even take that? Like, we're arresting you. Get
Evidence.
all of your personal
Evidence. Get the
effects.
evidence. That's
Like
right.
that was kind of.
bring our weapons and leave them within 10 feet.
Yeah, that was.
So
like,
there
why
were
would the
some
Jedi even take
little kind of funky things with the writing like
Yeah, no,
that.
that
It was a little clunky at the beginning. And
That's the kind of shit that I dislike about a lot of the new Star
Yeah.
Wars. Like, there's just like, you know, like they can't get someone they used to have in movies and films and TV shows called what are they called?
acting.
No. like when they made, you know,
Roy D.
Casino
Mercer.
and they had the gangster there who was telling them like, you know that story, you know, like in is it Casino where they don't
Huffman,
say
you got
jerk
an
off, they
invite too,
say
brother.
jack
You can get
off.
on here. Turn the
What?
camera off if you don't want us to see your ass.
Just cut me off then.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know. It's okay.
Go
No,
ahead.
what is that called when you have somebody that tells you, well, that's not the way it was. Like when they used to make war movies, right? They used to get old soldiers to come in and teach the actors how to march and and shit like that. And like they need more of that in some Star Wars, because there is some,
They're
they
not
need
doing
to
their
why
due diligence.
even if the Jedi, the shirtless guy, he picked that droid up and he took it. If he took it as evidence, why would it go on the ship with her? Right? Like that would be booked into evidence and the Jedi would take that. But they had to have a way for her to get, they already decided we have to put this droid in here, so it has to stay with her all the time. And
Is
then
this
they
guy
wrote a bunch of
wearing?
shit around it.
Is he wearing a Spirit Halloween Chewbacca outfit?
That's what it
Totally.
looks like Wookiee stuff. Yeah.
There's a mask. I didn't see that.
Yeah, that's totally like a Wookiee pelt.
Yeah.
There's a mask and everything.
Yeah, and he's got a bandolier.
Yeah.
A bandolier. Yeah, that was weird. The whole time he was on the screen, I went, "Is that a Wookiee?"
Did you get Hoth vibes here?
I kept waiting for a Wampa to come out.
Yeah,
they
me
missed
too.
an opportunity to find
and a probe droid. And a probe droid.
When they were in that cave, when she's in the cave walking, trying to escape, I was like, "Come on, Wampa!" They missed a good opportunity for like the Jedi to whoop some Wampa ass.
Yeah.
Because why not add something like that? I mean, we're all here to see that kind of shit, right? Like we're all here for.
I guess it wouldn't hurt if everybody's against your show. Throw a Wampa in there.
Throw a ass kicking Wampa in there.
Give him something.
That was the cool thing about Mando, which is not my favorite show, but like at any minute, right around the corner, something jumps out, because Star Wars is that kind of universe, right? Like whether you're on Endor or Hoth or whatever, like there's shit everywhere.
And we love Easter eggs. We love seeing stuff like that. Where
it wouldn't hurt.
It wouldn't bother us, right? Yeah.
And then he gets busted looking at that.
It's was it like porn hologram?
I liked his comeback on that too, because she was talking about like anything that reminds you of your past, is almost like holding on to something.
Right.
And his comeback was like basically you learn from your past, and I kind of like that. He was ready for that,
It was he was ready for it because he knows he shouldn't have been.
Yeah, he should not have been looking at that.
Because you can reflect on the past without whipping out the photograph.
And for them not to handcuff her or anything, I feel like Soul already thought, like she wasn't a threat and he could take her down anytime,
What do you think? What do you think the secret thing could be that was so bad that they think that they need to take out 4 Jedi?
Well, the Jedi caused, or it appears that they caused, the death of probably not just May's family, but some serious shit went down in a combat situation that they should all have been court-martialed.
Or there were more people in that fire than what was told yet.
That key word in the very beginning, revenge. She's seeking revenge for something.
Right. As far as she knows.
As far as she knows, yes.
Yeah. And now the one Jedi feels really guilty about what happened, but he could have, the one that drank the poison, but he could just feel guilty because he was powerless to do more, right? Like save the rest of those families. We don't necessarily know that the Jedis caused all that shit, but she thinks they did, right? So
what do you think was going on here where she's seeing May, but May didn't really seem to have this recollection of this happening? She's
because they're twins, and they're both twins, right? And they do have Force abilities. Then they must, because they're twins. And I think maybe the good twin, Osha, she's tapping into what's going on, and May isn't there yet because she's the dark side. The revenge is blinding her, but she's open.
With Rey and Kylo.
But it's like Rey and Kylo, right? And so are we looking at a Force dyad thing here again?
Here we go. I'm thinking so.
I wouldn't say Force dyad because I think that's some sequel bullshit.
Well, but I know, but that's where we're at.
When Vader
that's part of this lore now.
Well, right, but we can at least take it back.
This would be the first time that the dyad came to power.
Well, maybe they're trying to justify that. But you remember when Vader is walking around the Falcon in original Star Wars, and he says, "I'm feeling a presence that I haven't felt since." Right. So like, there's,
and then you hear,
and then like what's his name, Saul? He obviously has a connection with Osha, So I don't like. There's obviously a connection with the Force without there having to be a dyad or whatever.
Yeah.
Bullshit. You know
But it kind of goes
I
along.
think
with
we all have. I mean, I think even all of us as like whatever normal humans in this world, like you wake up in the middle of the night and call somebody, you know, and you know, I've had a relationship where I knew that they were around, you know,
Right.
like
Yeah.
so that's a real thing without it having to. They just
But
leave
it
the
would
sequels fucking out of
definitely-
it. Huh?
But Ed, what if Zipper Face pulls the mask off and it's OSHA? Oh. Anyway, look at this.
I
This
don't
tells you the High Republic era. Everybody's in these
So-
like nice gowns and the big jewelry.
There's the guy that played the Fat Lobot in the back. That's got to be the
bet you.
same guy, right? Without
I thought you were gonna say that guy right there was the bass player in Living Color.
the
or something.
dyad thing or whatever, like Kylo and Rey had. If anybody was going to have that, you would think twins would definitely have that.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, you know,
But
Well,
like
then they throw back to
twins
Kylo Ren
have
here
that
with the
thing,
shirt
right?
off.
when Luke
Like,
is
that's a
hanging
real
there on
thing.
Empire, and he talks to Leia, you know, help me or whatever. After he has his hand cut
Yeah.
off, Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Leia's like Luke, you know.
Yeah, they can hear each other.
Well, they're
And
twins.
Anakin
They're
and Luke
twins.
talked also.
What?
Through
I'm sorry, Lack. What now? I'm sorry.
And Vader and Luke also had a conversation in the
Few
original
times.
trilogy. A few
Right,
times.
and that was his son. Yeah.
Right.
So
So yeah, there's a connection.
there's definitely yep.
Yeah.
This is getting good, guys. I'm telling you, I like
So
it.
they
Yeah,
kept
I
doing
mean,
the
that's
callback to Kylo Ren with his shirt off with this.
Yeah. I
I
don't.
just don't care too much for him, man. I don't know what it
He
is.
might end up being the hero. You never know.
He might be.
Right. We don't like him because he's by the book, but then at the same time, will he be the one that saves the day? Because, like, he still must be loyal, and he's maybe true to the Jedi Order.
Yeah, because like when Osha like punched him in the arm, remember? She's like, "Hey, you know, like haven't seen you for a long time."
Yeah, and he's like,
yeah,
"You're a
Yeah.
murderer."
he kind of smirked, like he was happy to see her, but he kind of was like, "You're bad," you know, like we're after
Right,
you know,
Right.
at the time.
What are we
Is that-
missing in the scene about the fire with the callbacks to the fire? I know we're missing something. They're gonna keep showing us a little more of these scenes, I think.
right. I don't know if there was much in that one to see. I mean, it's really they're just obviously on their home planet. There was a house on fire. I don't know. It would be
And this
worth.
is that connection part when they are both kids and they're two of the same, and
Mhm.
all that weird riddling that they were saying to each other.
And I
Mhm.
think the OSHA, see, she's tapped into her twin and she's maybe like reading her mind without the bad one knowing that, right? Because when the bad one, May, saw her, she was just as surprised. She thought she was dead, right? They both think each other is dead. So obviously somebody's been lied to, whether it's by
Yeah.
the Sith witches or the Jedi, but somebody's lying to somebody. And is it Saul? You know, Saul has said, well, I saw her dead body. But then
Mhm.
immediately when she says, well, she's alive and she's doing, he goes, I know.
I believe you. Yeah,
I believe you. I know that. And it's like, well, so are you part of the mass conspiracy Jedi cover up? Or are you misinformed about what happened also? You know, what's going on there? I don't know. It's
That
too
was the
interesting
callback.
to not watch the next ones. You know,
Oh yeah,
that-
I can't wait.
Yeah, that was the scene
mean-
where Saul says, "I saw her dead" or whatever. And this is when they show up to the
and
crash
he's
site.
adamant about that.
Mhm.
But then he immediately calls the bald green Jedi lady and says her sister's alive and she's the one that's doing it. And the only reason everybody trusted that is,
And why was
my
she?
wife, huh?
Why was she so hard up to tell him no? Come back. Don't pursue. Like she wants to hide something.
Well, yeah. Well, she's the top. She's the one who wants to make sure the shit doesn't get out. You know.
Yeah,
Yeah, she's like the buck stops here,
but
right?
she's not on the list of 4, right?
No, but that's because she probably because what is it supposed to be like 16 years before this is when it happened?
Yeah.
So she was probably still a Jedi council member or high ranking whatever, but her job is to keep it all hush hush. Like she's the one that's hiding stuff. Hey, Mr. B, he just liked a message I sent him on Instagram. Thank you, Mr. B. I think it'd be interesting to start to, what if in this instance, because Jedi are still, for lack of a better term, human beings or whatever, right? Maybe they fucked up. And instead of
Right.
calling out their own kind or, court-martialing them. They just said, okay, look, we're going to do this and we're going to do that. And all of y'all need to get, that's the other thing too, right? The 4 Jedi have all been, except for Saul, have all been like,
secluded. They're somewhere different.
right. And like, were they perfect? Like, are they self-secluding, or did the Jedi Order say, JJ, what's up?
What's up,
Here you
JJ?
go.
Or did the Jedi Order say, okay, look, we're transferring you to Antarctica?
This is a thought right here.
The Green Witch is the Sith. Oh, the bald.
The one that's trying to tell Saul to come back and shit.
Oh, well, maybe.
It's an inside job. Definitely an inside job.
Oh, inside job.
You know what I'm
She
saying?
was kind of like, let's just go ahead and arrest her, because like,
Right.
yeah, that was odd. That was kind of odd too. Like,
but she came around when Saul said, hey, her sister's alive and I think she's doing it. And then she says, oh, you're right, because they just saw a girl that looked just like her. But maybe
that might have been the only card she had to play,
Yeah, that's very true. That's very true.
Yeah.
Yeah, this has got to be The Apprentice, because it's just like Palpatine and Maul or.
You
Palpatine
think that this
Vader.
person's the apprentice, not
That's
May?
The Apprentice. He is the Maul Dooku Vader, who is the go-between between the actual Sith Lord and these peons, right?
To do their bidding.
To do their bidding, right? Because the May is she has the Force or whatever, but she has no lightsaber. She's trying to appease this guy with killing people in the right way. Yeah, obviously a man's voice, right? Yeah, no, I get that.
Well, if he identifies,
I guess it's whatever.
who's Kamir in this story to us?
Kamir is the green chick, right? Or is that this guy? Or whatever.
I thought she was Benestra Rowe or whatever.
Oh yeah, you're right. Her name's Benestra, I guess. I don't know.
Something like
that. I mean,
I only watched it the one time, and I probably should rewatch it just to. There's a few Star Wars things that I never rewatched until recently.
He is the Asian man.
Is he talking about Saul?
I mean, hey.
Yeah, he's conspicuously. If he was one of the 4. He's not.
Oh, the one that May meets, the guy that mixes up the drink or whatever, right?
Oh, no, I don't.
He's some kind of acolyte too, because he said he gets them, procures them stuff or whatever.
He's just part of the Lost Boy tribe or whatever.
Yeah, he's down with the evil stuff, but I don't know. Remains to be seen.
They're gonna have an army of these. It's like Shredder and the Foot Clan, right? Like these. May and all of those, they're just the Foot, you know what I mean? And
Foot, yeah.
Yeah, that's what they are. They're just
that's crazy. These dudes were smoking some good shit back in the 80s, man.
Hey, dude, let's call this gang the Foot, man.
Foot.
Yeah, dude, you're like the toes.
It'll be interesting though, because I think the Sith with the red lightsaber that we've been seeing, like he is obviously the apprentice. He's the Maul.
Okay, I got you.
And then there's.
So somebody's pulling his string.
So he couldn't be the actual first one. He could be the first rule of 2 follower. Like, we need to get revenge.
Right.
But maybe they're not even thinking of that yet. They just want revenge.
Right. Well, they're just trying to scramble. They're trying to take down the Jedi Order just because it's the yin and the yang, right? And through May's story, they were able to conjure the fact that, oh, aren't you mad at these Jedi? They're the ones that killed your family. You should really go and kill those fuckers, And so they're being used. And the Sith, like Ed said, that's all the Sith does. Even look at the newest stuff with like the Inquisitors,
Yeah.
Like the Inquisitors are the same level, we could say, as like May. They're not. They think that they're going to rise up and be something, but those positions are taken, right? Like Palpatine and Vader aren't giving any of that up.
Yeah, that's like how Vader played that Inquisitor chick on Obi-Wan. He played her the whole time.
Exactly.
The whole time.
And the Grand Inquisitor, the only reason that he's able to get along is because he has his station, and he knows that that's as best as he's going to do. He's not going to take Vader.
Yeah, he knows. Yeah,
this is the way.
That's not going to happen. But it's these lower level people who are having the promise
to rise
further,
All right. So moving into episode 2 then.
Oliga, I thought I thought the planet names were kind of not. I wouldn't say lame, but like you could just tell like the same. It's like a kid doing a rhyming game, right? Like banana, nana, fofana. Like that's
Looks like
what
they
I
went to
thought
Hobby
when I
Lobby for the
saw
ships
because
here
all the
too.
names were like the same. If you said them out loud, you're like, oh, this is like my 5-year-olds
Yeah.
doing a rhyming game. Like these
The
are awful.
The ships look like they're from Hobby Lobby the model aisle and Hobby
That
Lobby
seems
or
like
something.
a cool ship. It's got the TIE fighter wings and then the Jedi front end.
So we immediately see May pulling a fast one with the kid.
Don't start that. We got another.
Sorry,
stream.
buddy. I'm sorry.
No, I'm just teasing you, brother.
To get into the other Jedi temple to get after the guy,
Yeah.
Mr. Meditation,
Mhm.
who it's amazing as soon as he so he could hear her or whatever, and she's doing the thing again, Ed.
Oh yeah,
with all your power, and he doesn't even move, and then she comes back and she lays down that juice, so it's like we'll get to it, but it's like he just jumped down like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, and like, why wouldn't he like? And Geek Strong brought up a good point, and it does. It was a comment on my video, but it does show the atrocity that he feels guilty for, and that there is more than one way, to defeat it.
Yeah,
And
but it must be really bad.
But he's been doing this for almost 16 years. Like, why wouldn't he just off himself anyway if he felt that bad?
There's the move.
He literally needs to see the girl's face.
all of you.
And like, oh, I never thought of that.
Unlimited power.
Yeah.
I feel like that was a waste of a character, man, because he looked so badass.
16 years though, that's a good point, man. He was doing this for.
Yeah, why did he just come up with that idea just because she said, "Oh, by the way, Yeah, I thought that was a waste of a character too, Ed.
He's got the jacked up eye and everything. I thought he looked cool.
Yeah.
It was like it was a waste of a character, I thought.
That could have been another awesome fight scene that we didn't.
Oh yeah. I feel like we
let's face it, that's what I'm
scenes
in it for. I want to see Force fighting, and I want to see laser swords and aliens with shit coming out of their head. Like that's what everything else is tertiary.
I even like when
secondary.
she woke up right there. When she woke up, if you go back just a little bit, where she woke up right here, she was laying there and she woke up. I almost felt like for just a quick second when the very first time I watched this, that maybe the what's her name? I'm sorry, May. That maybe she's seen May fighting her, and then like maybe that was a dream sequence at first, and then when she woke up, and that's another reason why. And I know I'm really far off, where maybe they are the same person. I don't know.
Yeah,
maybe that's a
well. They say twins can communicate and all that in different ways too.
Yeah,
but the reason
it would
I
be
said
a real mind trip if we found out that
Luke and Leia. They didn't do that dyad thing with them. They did that later on with Kylo and Rey.
The only thing that I think they did was when Luke communicated with her on Empire.
Yeah.
Super John, jump on in if you want, brother.
Hey.
I
forgot to mention, I have to say one continuity error, and this goes back to the first episode, but when she strapped herself into that ship, right, and then she woke up twice on the floor. Like, I had to stop.
We've not seen her take the straps off. I mean,
why wouldn't she wake up in the chair? I thought that was some serious. Like, she could have woken up in the chair just as easily, but like they were like, no, lay on the floor. It's much more dramatic. I thought that was kind of bullshit. It's little things like that make it unrealistic. Where I go, what? Who's proofreading this shit?
Yeah, this is where he's
a group of super fans to watch him first.
He's telling her we need to go, and she's saying, "Well, there was another murder fitting the description, so we know she was with you, so it wasn't her."
At this point, it was just attempted because she couldn't get past.
And she's trying to tell him just come on back, and he's like, "Well, we know where she's at. We can go," and she's not wanting him to go.
Well, she's definitely the orchestrator of the mass cover-up of whatever.
Okay, again, when she's laying there sleeping, could she have teleported her body like Luke and could have killed that person?
I mean, I don't know. I guess they'll reveal that here. We got 6 more episodes to go, right?
He's like, oh, she's fine. She's back here asleep, basically.
Yeah, she like astro.
She's been here the whole time. But was she there the whole time? I mean, that'd be a wicked.
It could be like an astro projection thing.
Yeah,
but if she's so strong, unless she's doing it like in a subconscious way, but how come she couldn't get her her little robot.
What's up,
Hey,
Ghost?
Chris.
Hey, Ghost.
What up, dudes?
What's up, brother?
What's up,
Good
man?
to see you, young man.
We're moving into episode 2 here. Just got into the part where
I
they're
caught the first bit of
Saul's going to
That
take
was
them on the
awesome.
run after everybody, and
Thank you, Leck.
Yes, sir.
the other what's the young Jedi guy's name with the shirt off?
I call him Mop.
Yord.
Yord can't see without the binoculars
Well,
from
let's-
15
let's
feet
have-
away.
I got a cheat sheet. I wrote this stuff down. I was ready to.
Let's
not
have
mess with their
Chris
name.
give us a synopsis of what he thought.
Please, yes.
Since he just showed up.
For
Tell us
episode
what you-
one?
Go ahead, brother.
I episode 1 was interesting. I think it gave away way too much to start with. I mean, it gave away the whole twin thing. It gave away, you have Carol Ann Moss on, and you hype her as a big part of the show.
Right.
And she's dead before the opening credits.
Yeah.
I have issues with some of the CG. I'll say what I think of stuff coming up as the episode comes along. This makes me more and more assured in my decision that I don't like the Jedi. The Jedi are jerks. The Jedis are commanding everybody. Like, who are they? You know, don't these local people have their own governments to turn to? Why is there a Jedi temple on every, which looks like it's in the back
Stationed
of a
at
La
every
Quinta?
city,
I believe.
Yeah.
like cops.
I believe
And
some of the
then
Jedi
you've
can be manipulative too.
The
Yeah.
overall series looks like it looks like Star Wars, which to
Yes.
most people means it looks like episode 4. To me, that's confusing because this is 100 years before the Phantom Menace. We've seen what this world looks like, and the worlds are not trashed for the most part, unless
Yeah,
you're
they
out on the
just
outer
really do.
rims. They look good. They look like Coruscant.
Mm-hmm.
But now you go, and it's another thing that bugs me about Star Wars is nobody changes their clothes for hundreds of years. It's the same roby looking stuff
Hey,
everybody's worn forever. The droids don't change. This at least has some cool new looking ships. I like that Jedi ship he's got. And you notice they got rid of the accents on Newt Gunray.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I noticed that. Yeah, I
Yeah.
noticed that.
Jedi? Oh,
Yeah.
No, there are 2 of them.
now there are 2 of them. You will not escape this time.
Yeah.
Queen Amidala.
Yeah, that was one of the coolest
Yeah.
parts about the prequels.
You're right.
Oh, we need
But
a pizza. We need them to bring
Overall,
us
the
a
first
pizza.
episode, I kind of liked the first episode. It's an interesting thing that this is astromechs are taking over her job. They took
Yeah.
her jobs,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and so it's that they've outlawed humans to do that work. Which, okay, you could fall off, but you've got those nice Star Trek magnetic boot thingies.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, but that's about what I thought of episode 1. And the music is really good, as usual.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
All
thought the
these
music was
shows
great.
may have their plus and minuses in different ways, but all of them have great music.
Yeah. Yeah, the music is good, definitely.
We also caught on to what you said too. Like they gave us so much at the beginning. So then what are we going to do? Just work backwards then and kind of
Yeah.
refold the mystery, you know? And Carrie Ann Moss, I really don't think they're going to waste her to just give her 3 minutes in this thing, even though I've heard
I
rumors
get
that
the feeling that
was
somewhere
only
around
there for a
episode
day.
4 or 5, we're going to get a whole episode
yeah,
of what happened because they cast both of the girls, unless
Yeah.
it's a Parent Trap thing and they're just not twins.
right.
But yeah, I think we're going to get a whole episode with all these Jedi, you know, and we'll see why he has this, you know, a cut
What,
on his
what do
eye.
you think of the theory that Ed and I posit that maybe May and Osha are one?
No, because even the Jedi say that they're twins,
Okay.
and they both think that they didn't survive. May doesn't think that Osha survived, and Osha thinks she knows May didn't because her and Jedi dude watched her die.
Well, can I just say that these two, when they were younger, when it showed them both being young, and they were talking to each other with the little riddles, the 2 of the same and all that stuff, they felt like they were the same. Okay. And if one of them died, which what's his name, Soul, when Soul said that he did see her dead body, if one of them died, maybe they do feel like they're one. Like maybe if one of them is still alive, maybe they do feel like, whichever one.
Vanestra Rowe, the green gigantic Yoda. Somebody said she could be the Sith. Somebody said Saul could be the Sith. So it's going to be an inside man, I think, for sure.
Yeah.
It
Well,
could
it'll
be
be interesting to see. I mean,
shirtless guy.
yeah, if it turns out to be shirtless dude, I will be very
That would suck.
sad.
Somebody said the guy that's mixing up the poison, it could be him. So it'll be
Well, I
interesting.
think the green lady is definitely, we'll find out, is bad in the sense that she's orchestrating whatever cover up, right? Because obviously, whatever did happen with the fire, there was at least a chance that Jedi could have been blamed for it. And the May obviously believes that they perpetrated the murders or the killings in the fire or whatever. But she's definitely bad in the sense that she's orchestrating the cover up.
Mm-hmm.
May is a clone.
Exactly what has happened. And
So
since
it'd be interesting to know what the level of cloning is at this time.
I think the witches revived her and put that mark on her.
If we talk about Osha, she I don't want to word it. She's conflicted because she was a Jedi or was becoming a Jedi, and then she doesn't want to be a Jedi anymore. So something had changed her
She
mind.
knows something.
Well, and it also looks like kind of as the way Luke did. It looks like she's cut herself off from the Force.
Mm-hmm.
Because she obviously
couldn't
hasn't been trying because she can't even move Pip across the ground.
Yeah, exactly.
Which I'm surprised we don't have end caps of Pips at Target yet.
We will.
Oh, they're coming.
Oh, yeah. That's
So
coming.
Brett asked earlier, "What do you think of this?" And I said, "Well, that's the Lola of this series.
Yeah,
We're all gonna have to buy our nieces
That's
and
the
daughters.
Lola. That's the Grogu. They now try to make these cute little things.
They probably have a person from Hasbro helping them design.
Oh, they had them ready before the show even started.
If we make it look like this, we can produce it for 17 cents and charge 40
Yeah.
bucks. I think there's so much design.
What's
going
Rick
in.
saying on here? You see,
Chris,
Rick,
just like you said with the
listen
CGI.
to me now, believe me later.
He thinks Khmer is the Sith. The actor is the third ranked casting listing. His character is going to be important.
Okay, is that Mophead? Who is that?
I thought he said that's the guy that was mixing up the poison, right? Let me look it up real fast because I'm kind of
sure who
confused.
that is.
Chris, which one is?
Oh, and as far as things that are wrong, just kind of probably I'm the only one who noticed this, but when Green Girl goes in to talk to other Jedi dude about OSHA and all that, there's like kids going out of the thing. And her apprentice is standing off to her right.
Mhm.
Then it cuts away for just a couple sentences and she's completely gone. And then they cut back to her and she's walking into the room.
Mm.
So maybe she used that Jedi speed stuff to zip out and grab a drink of water and come back.
Yeah.
Or something.
And come back. Yeah.
So, something I wanted to point out too was I felt like episode 1 felt kind of closed in and they gave us all this information, and I feel like going into the second episode it kind of widened out. So this had sort of an Andor feel, like when remember when you saw the crates full of kyber crystals and they had the little battle and stuff in the street market or whatever. This kind of had that feel.
And there are lots of aliens.
And there's lots of aliens, and there's
this
it was
all
just
feels
bigger.
Star Wars. There's aliens, there's droids, there's stuff.
It
Though
got
no
bigger.
recognizable aliens from the original trilogy.
No,
That's
but this
what
is Khmer. This is who Khmer is right here.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. He's the potion guy, the guy that made
Yeah.
that potion.
Well, does he have top billing because I don't really know any of these actors or actresses except the girl who gets killed in the beginning because she was around when I was watching films.
Wouldn't it make sense though too, because he's kind of fumbling. He's got like the split personality, so he's kind of fumbling around.
He's the right body type too.
Yeah.
Is he the Jar Jar? So he acts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, he's not supposed to be there because I remember somebody said that
Gary, hit that link,
guy wasn't
brother.
supposed to be there. Like he had Gary, what's up?
Awesome,
he's not
Gary.
the normal guy that works in that. So
Yeah.
Right, yeah, they came there and offed the dude or did something to the guy that runs that place.
That
So
runs the
they
place.
used
Yeah.
their
yeah.
Well, yeah. Didn't you think that was a little odd for Jedi Justice that you're the one who made the poison and gave it to her, and this guy died? So if you tell us a little bit about it, we'll give you off with a warning. Don't
Yeah.
you
Okay.
poison any more people?
Don't you do that.
Okay. Also, I thought we weren't supposed to be talking about Bruno.
Yeah. That makes. I mean, hey, I'm gonna have to let's hand it to Rick, Left Coast Rick here a little bit. That's a good theory because this guy, sometimes that fumbling fool, but he's got like knowledge because he said something about the Dark One or something, and then he makes this potion like it's nothing.
Yeah, he's like, did you kill him or did he take the potion?
Right.
Remember he asked that. He was like, the Dark One would be pleased or whatever.
Right.
Yeah,
so you
he
think
definitely
that's
knows.
the guy in the
Zipper mask
helmet with the lightsaber?
in the zipper
Well, then he'd
mask.
be talking about himself in third person. Well, unless he's talking about, like you said, Lack, that guy in the helmet is like the apprentice. And
He
there's
for
actually
sure has
someone.
to be the apprentice.
There's actually someone. Yeah, so maybe.
Ed, this is what you had mentioned earlier. He's asking her about the tattoo.
Yeah.
Maybe she says the symbol, oh, that's just whatever. And maybe he's like, you have no idea, girl. That's
right. Is that symbol?
That's a
what I
coven, or
thought.
that's
The symbol was
trouble,
supposed
or
to be something that he knows. It's the sign of the whatever.
Because he is secretive about things, just like the hologram. He's like, oh well, I carry this around, to learn from my mistakes, or learn from my past. He is kind of like he hides things a little bit. I believe.
He's
he's part of the four.
Qui-Gon.
What, say that again, Chris?
He's low key Qui-Gon.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't quite follow all the teachings, and he's a little rebellious.
Yep.
I
feel that. Yeah, I feel that.
Yeah, I dig that. I would definitely agree with that. And he's obviously also the only one, whatever did happen in the fire and the family getting killed, he's not as bothered by it, right? Because all the other Jedis have been ostracized to outer rim stations, or they've taken vows of silence, and whatever that levitating guy, they said what it was, but he took the vow.
He definitely knows it happened. I mean, like he was there because he talks about seeing her dead body.
Right. But maybe it's like Platoon, like he was there, but he doesn't really have all the information.
Maybe he showed up at the end.
Right. Or maybe he was doing something else when this other small group of 3 were actually perpetrating.
Well, and that was 16 years ago. So would he been a Padawan still? I mean, we don't know how old he is or how old any of these Jedi were when they were on the thing.
Yeah, exactly.
But did you say there were only 4 Jedi there?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then what's
Gary?
Going large screen. So I'm not sure what you guys already covered. When I
covered the first episode, we're into episode 2.
We want to know all your
We're
thoughts.
spoiling it all. We just want to know what you thought.
Willing to back up.
Go ahead. Whatever you want.
I agree with Lack that I'm sure we're going to see more of Carrie and Moss. I mean, flashbacks, and I thought that was a great opening sequence with her fighting with Osha. I didn't think she should have taken her quite that easily. I mean, I thought both of the Jedi deaths in episode 1 and 2 were questionable for me. The poison guys. We're going to get to that one later, I guess. Or do we do that yet? I just don't think a Jedi could be talked into. I've been
right.
10 years. I've been waiting for you. Oh, is that for me? Thanks.
Right. Why didn't he off himself in the 16 years he's had to?
Yeah. I mean, he was overwhelmed with guilt, I guess. But so that part I was kind of, and the fact that she just happened to be always in the wrong place. It was like for a minute, it was like a bad detective show. She was just always with her hands in the,
Oh, yeah.
The vial, even
it's
though
not what it looks like.
Yeah. So it looks like, well, it looks like you killed him. Another one. And what's the one guy's name? The younger Jedi, the younger kid that had to take his shirt off. He just happened to follow her and saw that, he vouched for her. So now they know. But didn't you guys figure out early on that there was a twin, there was a sister?
Oh, immediately.
Yeah, I did too.
I didn't think we'd be told about it right away.
Yeah,
we get like 2 or 3 episodes in, and then suddenly, dun, dun, dun.
Yeah,
I didn't think she'd make it 3. Yeah,
I love the show already. I'm going to like it. I just need more time. It's what I think. Lack, you told me 8 episodes is going to be this season.
Yeah, that's what Google.
Yeah. There you go,
Mr. B. Mr. B's asking, how did May get to Torben first? Well, she snuck back in that roof.
Yeah,
opening or whatever.
That roof, and what was the thing with the hallucinations when she was seeing her sister? Lack, I know you covered this in your video, when she was on the ship and the ship crashed. How the hell did she get out of that chair, and how did she survive the crash? First of all, but and then she just showed up in another area. Like, okay, I need to know how that happened.
It just knocked her out. She's fine.
I would rather
She's
she
fine.
just had the visions and she woke up, crashed in the chair. All right, I survived. Yay, let's go. So.
Well, I think, and I said this earlier, but I think that because possibly OSHA, like, she is in her heart like a good person, right?
Yeah.
And she still has force abilities, though she's not practicing.
Right.
So I think she's connected to her twin, and because her twin is in such turmoil and has all this rage, she's able to have those visions and understand that she's doing it.
Mm-hmm.
While the evil twin, because she's blinded by her rage and her revenge and her anger, that's why she still could never know that her sister, right? Because like Chris said, they both thought that the other one was dead the whole time.
Right.
The dark side clouds
and the reason that the good one was able to reach out and feel that is because she knows she didn't kill him, but yet they have a person of her exact description. So I would think immediately in her own mind, right? She would think, well, who would be out there that looks just like me? Well, there's only my twin sister. And then the blow to the head in the ship or whatever awakens this kind of force ability.
This right here, this kind of gives more strength to Rick's theory. Remember, May takes a whiff of the little thing that the poison's in. Well, this is from some type of root that's from my planet. So maybe the mirror is even from that group that was wronged, or the family was killed, or whatever. And it's all about the revenge.
Did anybody else think that guy should have been like a Esmer Miller stunt double?
That
apothecary guy.
Yeah.
No, I thought that's who it was at first. I'm like, what? There's no way. But,
I definitely think this was a wasted. It would have been cool to see this guy put up a little bit more of a struggle.
Yeah, these are supposed to be the Jedi at their prime.
Right.
And they're just letting some masked person walk through without even, hey, who are you?
Well,
you don't feel disturbances in the
There was a scene. She was already in the temple. She walked right by somebody.
Yeah.
When she was trying to get through his shield, I mean, that stuff was cool. It was showing his power. But the fact that when she spoke to him, he just gave up. I
think this is the key right here too. We thought we were doing the right thing.
Yeah.
So he knows who she is
by burying someone alive who had a dark power, by stopping someone from being right. I don't know what.
Isn't that always a reoccurring theme? I mean, look at like the Luke and Kylo Ren thing. He had to stop him, and a misunderstanding, and look what happened. Next thing I know, Han Solo's killed.
Three's Company did that too.
See, the rest of my case.
I just don't see how the guy wouldn't have offed himself long before this. If he was that distraught, like that,
right?
Mind, he thought.
So, like you were, didn't you say that they basically said he was in that state for 16 years?
I think.
Well, we don't know how long.
Or 10, and Saul said he'll talk to me.
Yeah, he said he hasn't spoken to anybody in 10 years.
That's what. Yeah, he said.
So he's been reflecting on it, and all that time he's come to no conclusion. Because all she has to say is, "Hey, I have absolution for you," which seems like a very un-Jedi thing to do, right?
Yeah.
And then here again is the Swiss Army knife. Now it's a radio plant, because you'd never suspect this device on the front of her.
Right.
Well, there are some touches I want to know about, like the badge on her chest. It's very imperial. What was that? Is that a guild mark?
Was that her outfit for being the mechanic?
Yeah. So
is that part of the Trade Federation? That's just part of the Trade Federation.
A Trade Federation thing, or
so I think
they called her a neck. What was it?
Mechaneck.
When did? Because I know in the later movies, in the prequels, of course, the droids were the ones doing all the outside repair stuff. Like, did that become a thing later on that I don't know about?
Well, they said recently, because in the show they said it's now illegal. To have that. With the Jedi came on, and they were like, "Oh, where are they?" And they're like, I don't know. No, we don't do that.
Me?
Why did Saul just tell this dude, meet us back here at dark?
Yeah.
Exactly.
And then leave, and then left.
If I was like the Jedi Temple, they were broken into. They know somebody had tried to attack and kill that dude, and they left the roof hatch open.
Right.
Do you think that, and I think Gary was getting ready to touch on this, You know, on The Last Jedi, when Luke was ready to kill Kylo in his sleep,
Mhm.
you remember that for a
Mhm.
second, and that's why Kylo turned. And he was getting ready to kill him on sleep because he felt that he was too dangerous to be kept alive. He could see his thoughts. He could see, you know, the Sith stuff going on in his head. Do you think maybe these Jedi thought that, and they burnt down her house trying to kill May?
Yeah, but you don't have to
Well,
kill a
because
whole
neither May
village
nor
to-
Osha were Jedi.
Well, it could have just gotten out of control,
yeah.
right?
It could have. It could have. Yeah.
I guess we'll
Yeah,
find
very-
out when they
Yeah,
flash.
Well,
that's
the-
a really
that's
good
definitely
idea.
what I think, because it could have all been a misunderstanding, and May could have just thought that that's what happened. But the floating guy's guilt proves that, and he's saying, "Oh, we thought we were doing the right thing," right?
Right.
That proves that they know they did something wrong,
Mhm.
Mhm.
you know? And the green chick knows all about it. You know, she's definitely part of the mass
Oh,
cover.
yeah.
What's
Yeah.
going
So
on?
did the floating guy recognize her?
I believe so.
It
Not
looks
that
like
he
it in
said
his
it.
eyes. He looked
Yeah, and he
like
said, "I've been
he
waiting
Well,
was-
didn't he
you or
say, "I've been
something."
waiting for you" or something?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he
Did
did
he?
say that.
Okay. Okay.
I mean, it could have been whoever, but I don't know.
But does he know that that's May and not OSHA, or does he just know it's
Oh,
one of
that
them?
we don't know.
Yeah.
So then the mistake, we thought we were doing the right thing, was to take down the one person, and they ended up accidentally taking out a whole village
family.
of people.
Yeah. I'm guessing, and we'll find out. I'm
And
sure
it was
they'll-
these four that were sent there on this diplomatic mission to Alderaan
yep.
Right.
and screwed it all up.
And it turned into a rest
And then the greenie lady covered it up for him.
right.
Right.
Yeah. Yep.
HMFIC.
All right, well, we don't need to watch anymore then. We're good.
yeah, we're done.
No,
It's
I'm only in it for the fighting and the.
That concludes the series
Two
overview.
aliens.
Thanks for
Yes.
watching.
Yes, Acolyte.
That's great. So next time, Skeleton Crew.
We'll see you in November.
And do we have any idea who this mysterious bad guy is? And anybody in the books that I don't know about that? It could
They were
possibly-
saying it was the apothecary guy, the Khmer guy that was mixing up
think
the
really?
poison.
Well, that's
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't know if he's
That's
in the
one
High
theory.
Republic
Yeah.
books or not.
Yeah.
I think and I said this before, but for Gary, the guy with the red lightsaber that we
Yeah.
saw on the rock
Yeah,
is,
yeah.
in my opinion, definitely the apprentice Sith.
Of the
And
Sith.
you know, he's Sith, and he's
Not the actual, yeah.
yeah, he's not.
Always
the-
there are
not-
two.
Right.
You think
Right,
Plagueis
it has
could
to-
be the big Sith?
Because aren't we wrong probably to assume that May is the second?
Oh well,
Probably.
she's
She's not.
lacking in too much ability, and she doesn't have a lightsaber, and she
Yeah.
is given a mission, but it also seems like, yeah, I think, like I said, she's like the Foot Clan. She's way low totem.
How about a sign of strength from him here, though?
Yeah.
You're telling me she couldn't have easily taken him out, and he was holding her off.
Yeah, that's true. She was
Wow.
going to him.
He
Wow.
showed some strength and was holding her off.
Wow.
He was
Right.
going to drop the death blow on him,
Well, he promised that he could get her off world. I think that's what saved him. That's
Yeah.
the one. Yeah.
but he stopped her.
Well,
if anything, he's not what he seems, but maybe he's not that.
Yeah.
The guy, but
I
it's a
don't
good
think he's
theory.
hiding either.
And Kat points out something that in every one of her fights, she's always trying to get the lightsaber.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
talked about that earlier. Yeah, we didn't understand why, but maybe that's how she gets her saber.
She left
Yeah,
that
but
lightsaber
when
she fought.
Right?
When they
Black?
killed at the beginning, she left the saber on the ground. She didn't.
Right.
I think she's either trying to disarm them to make, because the guy told him, you know, you really need to be killing these Jedi hand to hand.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
to ensure that, maybe she's just trying to disarm them to make them start to fight hand to hand. Or
And then-
in a desperate situation of knowing she's about to get her ass kicked, maybe she's just grabbing for their weapon to
Just
use.
to get it away.
You know,
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Her,
yeah.
knives
Back
don't,
to
her
the
knives don't seem to be cutting.
If she
With-
could
with-
strike
with
you
the-
down with it, then she could keep it as the trophy and then make the crystal
Yeah.
bleed and turn it red.
And Lack, did you say you thought you saw an unmasked Jawa in that an opening bar?
I'm,
I
I'm
didn't catch
pretty
that. I
sure.
must have missed
I
it.
can pull it back up in a minute.
Yeah, I'd love to
Yeah,
see
the
that.
very first, I guess that's like the first scene where we see
Yeah.
some people, but she pays that little thing.
But we'll get to
with
this
the
guy in a
information
second. Yeah.
of
So
where the
here's
Jedi.
so there's Chuck Norris and the Alpha
Yeah.
team. This is I
Anybody
hate
like-
this. I'm
They
sorry.
have the worst like wigs or fake beards.
I don't like this.
That was pretty cool. That was pretty cool.
That reminds me of the Slim Jim commercials.
He's rocking the little samurai bun. Check it out.
Snap into a Slim
Snap
Jim.
into it.
Got
Breaks it down.
got his
Snap
bookie
into a
bun.
Slim Jim.
Let me pull up that.
I
other
thought
one.
that was
That's
cool
the very
until
end.
you
Yeah.
told me it was like a Slim Jim thing. But
What was it?
now
Not Slim
is the
Jim.
Wookiee? Is he stationed at some place like
He's
the
hiding
No, I
out.
think he exiled himself like
or
Yoda.
is he like
Yeah.
Dagobah in it?
Because he was naked, if you think about it.
He's all Dagobah on it.
He had
Didn't
no.
Then you think it could have
I
had
think
like
his ship
15 more
crashed later
seconds?
there.
That episode, the Wookiee
up.
snaps the gun, runs through the door, boom, credits. I'm like, well, what? I mean,
yeah.
No, I don't really quite a cliffhanger, but give me something else, you know.
Oh yeah. No,
Yeah.
they definitely know how to do that. Well,
Yeah.
somebody said a long time ago, like they shoot the whole thing as a film, right? And then
Right.
they say, oh, there's 37 minutes.
Mhm.
Cut it off.
Yeah.
And
Here you go,
they-
Lack. Here's Lack's call right here.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sure that's
Let me
it.
blow it
Chris, wasn't there a comic or something years ago where they showed us an unmasked Jawa?
What the hell?
Yeah, but I don't remember the bulbous.
Yeah.
mouth.
That's
Yeah,
snot bubble?
I thought it
Snot
had
bubble?
more of a breathing apparatus like the B1 medical droid.
Because like we've seen what Tuscans look like unmasked
Yeah.
too. In a
Yeah,
comic.
because those
There's
things
clearly
were
a nose there.
Uh,
Yeah.
Maybe he's just chewing bubble gum, you know.
Could be
I don't know.
Blowing a bubble.
Grossing me out a little bit.
Hubba Bubba.
I wonder if we'll ever get an answer to that. But until we do, I think that's an unmasked.
This was
His
the
voice
the
sounded
second,
like a Jawa, though. His voice sounded like a Jawa.
yeah.
It
Did
was
it?
very similar.
Yeah, it definitely did.
I think that was the second grossest thing, only behind the little face hugger prisoner
Yeah,
Your
that was
violence.
good.
Yeah,
on your
yeah.
face
where'd
thing.
that
That was
go?
crazy,
Is
right?
that supposed to come up later? Because
I don't know.
they made a point of making sure we knew it survived the crash.
Yeah, because
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah, it went full.
Well, and when she
Warfare.
was having that first, when she woke up not in the chair and she was chasing what ended up being her sister,
Yeah.
like I told my wife, I said, is the face hugger thing on her and messing with her mind? Because the tongue guy was like, they made the point, oh, it messes with your mind.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that's what I thought too. I said, are we going to find out this entire series is in her head?
oh yeah.
Don't you
Like
do
General
that.
Hospital.
That's kind
Was
of-
that
yeah.
General Hospital where it's like the kid smashing his action figures?
So look
together?
at the closed caption there about those two guys that he just broke the gun from.
Speaking Huttese. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they
Because this is the time of Jabba is up and operational at this point. Of
Yeah, the huts
history.
are huge.
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Mhm.
He's like, get on out of here. Get off my lawn.
Yeah. Get off my lawn.
And is that a crashed ship?
I
It
see.
looks
That's
Well,
like
those
it's been
two
there
guys
a
said it
while. I mean, stuff's growing all over it.
Yeah. But he's doing the Dagobah thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like-
isolation kind of. Yeah.
Yeah, just like the floating Jedi, right? Like he obviously has some sort of
Yeah.
guilt.
Well,
and
there's the
he
ATM
removes
right there on the
himself.
right, so that's good.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's good. Get your credits here.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just don't it seems like, and even the woman at the beginning, she had a dark air about her, like and maybe it was just me reading into it, but she didn't seem like she was in her normal mindset. She's like slumming it at the bar and hanging out.
Right.
Right. And then the other Jedi who took the poison is taking another route. He's doing the Buddhist thing. He's
Mhm.
trying to absolute himself with meditation. And then you got Wookiee, who has decided, okay, I'm just going to go live in the woods and I'm done with society. But so why is Saul still? Because he's the last of the four.
Right.
And he just thinks everything's hunky-dory and he has no guilt that we can see, at least.
Maybe he was only peripherally. He just happened to be there. He didn't actually do
Right.
anything.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, he was just part of the squad.
And didn't he tell somebody earlier that he saw May die? I saw her die. He
Yeah.
said those words. Like, so what happened? I guess we'll find out.
Well, and you got the guy who was next to her in the
It's
cell
all
with the
dream.
face hugger thing on. He was wearing a full Wookiee
Yeah,
suit.
yeah.
That's what we said. It was like a Spirit Halloween Wookiee suit.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah, that's all I get. I didn't hear one word he said because I was going, is that a Wookiee he's wearing?
yeah. Is he wearing Chewbacca?
He's wearing it. But wouldn't we
Remember,
all? though?
Chewbacca will be alive now.
Yeah.
Yeah, he would.
Chewbacca and Yoda are the only two people we should run into.
Hey, what happened to Ed?
Chewbacca was like 900, right?
He was 200.
200. Okay.
200 in Solo.
Yeah, because he looked great. Yeah, he looked great.
So he would have been a little kid here.
Yeah, 'cause this is
100
100 years
before.
before
200 years or
the
100?
prequel, the first
So
prequel.
he's middle aged in this.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. Something happened with my computer.
And Yoda
Sorry, brother.
was 900, and so this would make him about 8, which means he should still be teaching
Yeah.
at the temple.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was one trailer kicking around YouTube where they showed a Yoda, but I guess that was a fake one. I learned later that was like a fake.
Yeah.
Fan fiction.
The amazing.
Do you think we'll get a surprise like that in this now that they've like basically given us the whole plot?
We could. Why not? I
I
mean,
mean, what other big reveals do they have for the other episodes? I mean, episode 3 is where the shit hits the fan, I guess.
Yeah.
And
I guess by
everybody
the
in
fourth,
fandom
you're either
thinks that
gonna
we're just gonna walk away.
by the fourth one, you're either gonna give up on modern Star Wars or keep going. So
Do you
Yeah.
think we'll see Plagueis?
I don't know that Plagueis.
I don't know the time.
I don't
frame.
know. Would we? We could. It wouldn't be a young emperor, right? He's not that
Right.
old. So
Oh, well, we don't. I don't think we know his age because we don't know what Naboo's years are. But I think
True.
he's 65 in the Phantom Menace.
yeah.
Mhm.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know the time frame for Plagueis either. So I don't know if that's, unless the guy that we've already seen is
is
possible.
that our big bad on the rock? That's what I was going to say. Yeah.
Is that Plagueis as an apprentice? Because I
Yeah.
still think that's it. We've
You want to know who the real bad one is? Like, is it?
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
the
the
main
guy behind
Yeah.
the guy.
Yeah, he's just the Vader Maul Dooku character.
Yeah.
Steve,
Yeah.
good to see you, brother.
It'll be. It's really interesting because it's like they say there's a mystery. Okay, but where's the mystery? 'Cause you've told us.
According to
so-
Wikipedia,
Mhm.
Shiv was born in 84 BBY.
Okay.
That's
So
after
he
this,
was about
right?
88 in his death. in
Right,
Return
so
of the
he's
Jedi.
not even a gleam.
Well, his first death in Return of the Jedi.
Yes.
Exactly. I think the mystery is, at least to me, apparently, what happened and why is May blaming
Yeah,
the Jedi.
that's going to
and
be the big
why-
reveal at the
Right,
end.
that's the big reveal. And like Chris said,
That-
it might be part of showing us that the Jedi are a bunch of
That fire.
you know,
They're showing us this flashback with two young girls, and the fire seems to be contained just around them. And you say, "Oh, it's her family."
Guys, I'll be right back.
Okay, brother.
Right.
But
Sorry.
the camera could pull back at the end of this and reveal the whole town is engulfed.
Right,
And,
right.
and
The whole
these
right.
four Jedi over there going, "Whoops."
oops. Yeah, exactly.
And then, that's all, folks. And then next year,
Well, as an overall arc, do you think it was wrong to put it 100 years before Phantom and not done like 1,000?
I
Because if
definitely
this
think
was
it could have been
100
further.
years before the Phantom Menace, and everybody acts like they've never heard about any
Right.
dark side users or
Yeah.
anything like that.
In
And
that
Green
respect,
Lady
you're
really
I
covered
thought the
that
High
up.
Republic era was 1,000.
That's what I thought too. But this,
Yeah. They're
they
saying
say this
100.
is,
Yeah.
High
So
Republic stuff.
They're
well, the High
toying with the
Republic
lore
lasted
a
quite a
little bit.
long time, right? Like, I mean, this is
they
maybe just
they
towards-
told us, so they've told us 100 years, and then they've also kind of given us these new rules with Jedi, like, oh well, you're not supposed to pull your weapon, or you're not supposed to do that unless you're going to kill. Like,
Well, and what's Mophead Boy do? Pulls it out to use as a flash.
as a light,
as a flashlight, yeah.
and then he holds it up to threaten,
Yeah.
to say stop.
Which,
yeah.
if anybody's ever been in the dark and you have a flashlight or something that's shining in your own eye,
Right.
right? Like,
Yeah.
like he can't see anything now. He just blinded
Yes.
everyone in the entire cave. That's like the idea that your lightsaber could be used as a flashlight, which we saw that in some
Well,
other film. Like,
As
that's-
the historical documentary The Big Bang Theory showed us, it can. So
I
Um,
guess.
Another good point by
Yes.
Rick. The
Right.
council. We haven't seen the council yet, so I'm getting prequel vibes here, and I definitely think we will see a council.
I love the prequel era. I would love more stuff in it.
Yeah.
Yes, we know where it ends, and
Right.
preferably, I would like stuff beyond the sequel trilogy. Just like Star Trek, they're making two new series. They're all prequels. Why can't we move beyond Voyager or Picard? Why do we
Yeah.
have to keep making prequels to everything?
Right.
Yeah.
Prequel to a
Well,
prequel
that's
to a
because
prequel. So
nobody
now
has-
this is the first Star Wars.
Right. This is the first.
Right.
Is it Star Wars? I mean, yeah, it's still peace. So it's like,
Right.
I mean,
like
not so-
Star police action.
Yeah, not so
Right.
much in the second episode, but the first episode definitely gave me prequel era feels with
The
the, with
one
the
thing I do
architecture
like
and
about the
everything.
time frame, and I said this to somebody, but as original trilogy fans, like we all are, OG for life, it is a little easier to swallow this new time frame, new characters, and I do enjoy it more than them rewriting characters that we already knew and loved, right?
Yeah.
Like I had a big problem when Boba Fett became a clone, right? 'Cause
Exactly.
all the stuff I read as a kid and all the Mandalorian lore was
And he
completely
became a
opposite
mayor.
of that, right? There are no more Mandalorians. He was the last guy that even had that armor. It was from generations before.
And he
Well, now
became
we
a
know we don't
soft-ass
have
mayor.
any clue how many Boba Fetts there are out there.
Right.
So, because we know that at least Captain Rex and a couple others survive until Return of the Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
So, how many clones are there out there that are just wandering around?
Yeah. Super aging.
Probably, it's probably as many as there are Jedi.
Right.
Super
Yeah.
aging.
So that's the one thing. The time frame, I think it would probably be better, like you said, 1,000 years, because you can totally write off a lot of things that we think that we know. But it's nice to see
because the whole universe
new
forgot about Jedis in 20 years. Between episode 3 and episode 4, they're like, Jedi. Oh.
Yeah, what's Jedi? Yeah. Yeah, there's obviously thousands and thousands of Jedi all over the galaxy after Order 66, which is, but the top ones, the Plo Koons and the Kiadi-Mundis and the ones who are supposed to be the baddest of the bad, they're just cut down.
Well, that's
like
what they
nothing.
get for having action figures.
I guess so. That's right.
Yeah.
If they didn't have figures, we didn't know who they were.
That's
then,
right. Then they can live on in our head canon.
Exactly.
Yeah. Lack Sivrak might be the only one left that still has his figure, but was erased, and, never to be really heard from again.
Lack, you said you thought most of those creatures in the bar were CGI? I thought it was I saw a few practical.
I think it was maybe a mixture. Like the horn guy, was a little fuzzy around the top of him, and the bartender,
what is that?
Like, there was a bit of fuzziness around it that made me feel like it was CGI.
Hayden's gonna fill in with me just for a minute,
Hey,
for a moment. That's
all right.
I thought it was nice, and it was also convenient that it was bring your kid to work.
Chris from Thousand Ghost Gears Girls, Wax Direct. I'll be right back, guys. I'm sorry.
All right.
No, don't apologize.
All right, now we can get a new
generation
now
let's get
view.
That's right. What do you
Thank
think?
God your dad's gone, Hayden. Thank God.
Tell us what he's really like.
Totally kidding.
What'd you think of did you watch The Acolyte, Hayden?
No, I was at my friend's house.
Oh,
I'm probably gonna watch it tonight though.
Okay, cool. Do you have any pre-ideas of it? Do you think you're gonna like it or not like it, or?
I think I might like it. It looks pretty cool in the trailers that I saw.
Yeah.
If you back this stream up like 45 minutes, you can watch the whole thing.
So have you guys? I haven't watched any yet, but I've just been looking at a lot of thumbnails since I got home from work before I came on. There's a lot of negative people out there.
Yeah, there was people that had their minds made up about this
already. I'm like, come on.
Well, there are some of the larger Star Wars TikTokers and stuff that this has been their bread and butter. If they suddenly come out and are like, yeah, I actually kind of liked this.
Yep.
Good.
This and this and this could be better, but all this stuff was great.
Yeah.
They will get just destroyed on their views and comments.
Mm-hmm.
I put out a short video last night, and I don't have any one way or the other, but I've already gotten comments that I'm a shill and I'm this and I'm that. And,
really?
I would
said
just think
something positive.
Oh yeah, because I said this was cool and that was cool. I'd like to see more of this, and everybody's just been not everybody. Everybody in our community is really nice, but yeah, I've gotten probably 4 comments that are just awful and this is woke garbage and this and that, and there were some things politically that were interjected possibly that were unnecessary. But
the only thing I saw that was woke at all was when they say that her mother's died in the fire.
Right.
Yeah, I caught
the one comment. That didn't take you out of it, did it?
You know what else was
so many of those?
The fat Jedi, and I love him, and I want to figure
the fat Jedi.
Well, they had Fat Lobot too.
I thought there was
Fat Lobot with his head on a platter.
Yeah, fat Lobot, fat power,
and a harmonica in his face.
The Force is fat. Live with it.
And I want to know.
I
what
think
Chris
that a lot of those channels had their minds made up before last
Well,
night
that's what
because
sells
they
views.
get
Yeah, you're
it
probably
gets
right.
them the views.
It sells views. Absolutely.
It totally gets the views.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
People love to latch on
And
to
like
that.
we're all old school people, you know, and so
And
I
I
think we all have the same ideas.
And I
about
prefaced
stuff,
today at the very beginning, I said, listen, it ain't your mama's Star Wars anymore after 2012. This is what we're living with.
Yeah.
So we're just gonna look at these 2 episodes as a show we watched for the first time because that's
Yeah.
what we did.
but, right.
Yeah.
I
And
can
that's
sit
how I
here and
did my
pick
review,
apart.
you know.
I can pick apart 500 things and tell you there's this agenda stuff going on in Disney and all this, but I didn't want to talk about any of that. I don't.
Well, as somebody
it's not
who
today.
as somebody who is aware of that
Sure.
and was halfway looking for it, you know, I was looking for it.
Sure.
I saw what Chris saw, you know, which was a flash in the pan. Like if that was your
Comment.
big,
Yeah.
if that was their big objective, you know, like it lasted 0.3 seconds, so it's not that serious. And you know, I think the casting is conspicuously absent of certain. Like they
Ed, are
would
you going
obviously
into
not
labor?
cast any of us as a leading role,
No.
correct?
No.
Like that's
No.
obvious.
Unless you need a
But-
janitor
But
or
do
painted
I?
green.
Am I not? Was there stuff in it that I liked that was fun to watch, even as being an old school original trilogy fan? Like, yeah, it was pretty all right, you know. And I'm gonna watch all 8 of them. And when it's all over, I might say, "Oh, I see now." You know, you could say, "Oh, I see now that they told you that you need to vote for this person," or whatever the deal is, right?
Right.
But
I think
I
if
don't
we-
see
if
it
the,
yet.
If the fandom can get past what is rumored in episode 3, then the show will do fine.
Yeah, I don't know the rumor, but that was one of the comments.
There's a
I
couple
got.
of
It said,
them.
"Oh,
There's
you'll
a
change
couple
your mind if you
rumors.
watch episode 3." And I immediately answered. I said, "Well, have you seen it?" And the person obviously didn't answer me because they probably haven't seen it. Right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah. There's a
we've
couple
gotten
people
this-
who have, and they said it will literally change Star Wars forever going forward.
oh, no, really?
Well, that's- I don't know. That's
I do
something
think
cool
we
to
could
say.
definitely nitpick every episode if we really wanted to, but
Sure.
I do think it's enjoyable. I think they've done pretty good so far. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah.
Darth Vader
Definitely
shows
intrigued.
up. Now, if it changes Star Wars forever, I mean, we've seen a few things like that already, right? Like force healing, and everybody can use the force, and it's not metachlorian. So,
You can
like,
get
we've
stabbed
seen
with a
few-
lightsaber, but a knife will
we've
kill
seen
you.
a few things that's changed Star Wars. But
You
like,
can be in Ahsoka and fall from 500 stories, but Mace Windu dies. I mean,
Right.
Yeah.
You don't know he's dead.
we don't know he's dead exactly.
No, he can fly.
You can bring
I'm
people back.
convinced.
He's Mary Poppins, damn it.
I'm convinced he's alive.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I think he that would be the next.
So, like,
really-
I have so here's a great example. I have a little series that I started that I've only done a couple episodes of called Saving Star Wars. Definitely tongue in cheek, but it's for the guys like us that grew up with the original trilogy, where I say, let's take this off ramp and just kind of make it up and see how it sounds, and it's fun. We just theorize, and it gets us away from all that crap, you know.
Right. Right.
I mean, at the end of the day, I was watching it and I was like, okay, let's see what we got here. And I'm watching it. I like the music. I like the scenes, the sets. I had some feels from prequels. I had a Hoth kind of throwback in the second episode.
Nice.
Let me blow that up for you.
No, you don't have to blow it up. I'm sure.
Yeah,
everybody-
yeah. I love it. I love
This
it.
is on Amazon for like $16.
Oh, that's awesome.
Wow.
If you
Wow.
missed it, grab it.
That's cool.
So I thought at the end of it all, I was like, okay, it looked like Star Wars. It sounded like Star Wars. I'm gonna just watch
Hey, if
the
it
next
walks
one
like a
and
duck,
watch the
quacks
next
like
one.
a
and-
duck, then
Exactly.
it might be a duck,
See
right?
what
Yeah.
happens.
Right.
See what happens. This is what they're giving me. This is what I got. I can
Right.
complain all day long about what it could be, should be,
Yeah.
agendas, all this
The
other
only-
woke stuff.
My
not
only
gonna do me any good.
overall real criticism as a Star Wars fan is I would like to see 1 or 2 more aliens that are recognizable from the original trilogy.
Yeah.
And that would make me kind of feel
Yeah.
pretty good.
More
Now,
gonk droids.
something.
Gonk.
Yeah. Show us something that
On the
we as,
nose.
people from the
On the
OT go,
nose.
fucking A, that's cool. And
Yeah.
they probably, they thought a Wookiee would probably suffice with that. And it doesn't, like, it's cool and all that, but it doesn't do it for me, right? I want to see a Hammerhead. I want to see a Rodian. I want to
Yeah.
see a Shavastine Wolfman. And I want to see something that was in the cantina or something. You know what I mean?
This goes kind of back to what Chris said earlier about the era that we're in for this show. Like, should have been a little bit further back in time. John says that he hopes to see they go more into the dark side and how the Sith have returned. But are they gone? Is this the first time they've ever existed? You know, is this the thing that precipitated their existence in the first place? You know, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to definitely make the Jedi look like the bad
around,
guys.
haven't they? It's just the perception of the Jedi Council.
Yeah, and it's going to make the Jedi look like complete assholes and look
Which,
like
like Chris said, if it's only 100 years ago, Yoda is in the temple.
Oh,
so
yeah.
why is he telling Mace Windu, "Oh my, like Sith? What is Sith?" You know.
Mhm.
Well, and
But-
I guess the counterpoint to that would be, and you know, they were able to hide a planet making hundreds of thousands of troops, and the Jedi never noticed it.
Right.
You know,
What do you know?
Until they looked.
It's a
right.
communal
yeah, until they actually had to look.
right.
They
And
had to
that's-
look at a map, just like in the
Lost the planet.
Force Awakens.
It's a
Look at the
communal
map,
saber
and there's a
dart.
giant hole in the map.
right.
Let's just do
Wonder where he could be.
voices.
What do you know? It's a Camino saber dart.
No, you're absolutely right.
I had
But,
one of these.
but that's been part of the vanity.
That's all up.
We've been told that's part of the vanity of
I like
the
that guy.
Jedi,
That's
right?
cool.
Like they don't see anything until they look, and then they go, "Oh shit, we totally missed this," you know.
Mhm.
And then going back to Yoda telling Mace there is no Sith, right? In episode whatever 3 or 2, is that because there was a cover up? Like we know that we're already dealing with some sort of Jedi cover up with this fire and the killing of the family. So when this Sith does present himself, maybe the higher ups, which Yoda may not be a part of yet, maybe they cover it all. Maybe everybody dies, you know, and the Sith runs away, and they say, "Oh well, you know, it was some swamp gas, you know, refracting off Venus, and that's what killed everybody. It was a mining accident, you know."
Well, because you've got Mace Windu sitting on the council saying, "I find it very unlikely the Sith could have returned without our snow."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, fuck, that was like 100 years ago, dude. You would have been like 40.
Yeah.
Darth
Yeah,
Bane. Maybe we'll have some callbacks to that, like Darth Bane and stuff back in the day. I don't know
Yeah,
how
the
much
big-
can they squeeze into 8 episodes, though. You know, I
The
found
big
myself saying
reveal
that.
is the big reveal. I am hoping, and I think, other than the conspiracy, us learning what assholes the Jedi can be, is we're probably going to get a reveal of who the actual Sith Master is, and it probably will harken back to like a comic or
Yeah.
you know. I'm not up on all the new stuff.
I
so
know.
in the timeline
Who
we
was that?
have.
I know
makes
who
sense.
the actual Sith is. You know, the Acolyte means student,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
So the teacher is right here,
What John
guys.
just said. in the
You saw it
comments.
here first.
Oh God.
Oh my gosh.
Misa evil. Misa definitely understand.
Misa canceling cable.
Misa.
Huge group of fish. Huge group of fish.
Mason, I want to stand you.
This is awful. It's awful.
It's off the rails.
It is. I know
I
I'll
think
be
you and I would
watching
have
the next
myself
6
said,
episodes, you know. And
Oh, I can't wait. Nobody knew who Bane
oh,
was.
what was
Yeah.
that? Show me that Darth Bane one again. I didn't see that. Nobody knew. Darth
He
Bane
said
was
nobody knew who Darth Bane was until he put on the mask.
Oh.
Well, Bane.
Yeah.
Will the Sith Master be a male or female? I think we kind of established it's probably male, or it's the chick in the green skin.
Right. Well,
The
I
voice
like
changer.
I
Voice changer.
said,
I mean,
Gap,
Vader had a voice changer too. So
Gap, I think the Sith that we have seen standing on the rock, I don't think that's the Master. That's the apprentice.
Yeah, I think
There's
it's
still-
Apprentice. Yeah,
that's the true acolyte.
Yeah,
Yeah. he-
That's
yeah,
the
yeah.
acolyte.
That's what it's all about.
And I didn't think of that till you said that. It could very
Yeah, I
well
don't-
be that's
think
his
he's-
test.
Right.
His test to pass is to get someone else to do it.
I think Chris said that
You
in the
know.
comments a minute ago. Yeah, that's what he.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the
And
real-
May is just the tool. He's just using her.
yeah, and probably that poison guy too. They're
Yep.
just
Yep.
I'm going to
Tools.
guess that their approach to this was we're going to make these 8 episodes before we proceed with saying anything about another season, or it's just going to start and finish, or it's going to start and then tie into, say, Skeleton Crew or something else later. I don't know.
Hmm.
I think it's
I
gonna do what
remember when they
Obi-Wan
rolled
did.
out all these new shows a few years ago, it was said in the press conference that all of these shows would at some point come into some major event
Tie-in. So, yeah.
or series of films or something like that.
Trying to do their end game thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
What were you saying, Chris?
I forgot.
Oh,
I'm old.
damn it! I bet it was really good.
Yeah, you're in that research.
Probably
Like you said, he's going to come up with something.
Black's the baby here.
I'm young and spry.
So off topic, is everybody ready for Lego What If Star Wars?
Ooh, a what
I think
if?
that would be a
I
lot of
am
Yeah,
now.
it's their next animated series. That's where that picture comes from.
Right.
Oh.
Right.
Because Jar Jar is
A lot of fun.
bad, and there's one where Vader is
No
where
argument
Anakin
there.
lived. There's a whole bunch, and they're just Lego tales, so they're going to be hilarious no matter what happens.
Yeah, that'd be fun. I like fun stuff like that.
Well,
And
Guys,
the what
my
if?
live starts in a minute and a half, so I'm gonna hop off and hop over to my channel.
Oh yeah.
So I
I
love
put
you all.
the link in the
Appreciate
chat,
y'all.
guys.
Thank
Love
you,
you,
Brett,
Ed.
for inviting me.
The link
again.
is in the chat. Let's all jump over to Ed's and
I
pester him
appreciate
now.
you guys. Thank you.
Do we have to?
Yeah.
We'll see you on your
Especially
stream in a
Gary.
little bit.
See
I'll
you,
see you in a
Ed.
minute.
Thank you, guys. See you next
Okay,
week.
brother.
See y'all.
Yep.
All right, see you, Ed. See you over there in a little bit.
Cool.
All right.
I thought he'd never leave. I always say that whenever someone leaves the chat.
Yeah, thanks for jumping on, guys. We had a few people last week, and we're kind of going to rotate it. I invited probably 15 people, hoping 5 or 6 would show up, So, I
We had
think
a good
everybody kind of everybody that watched it with a level head saw it in a similar fashion that
Yeah.
we know. I really enjoyed that the music sounded like it was done really well. It was produced really well, and I think that's only going to get better with the budget that they had.
hmm
New droids, new alien life forms.
Yeah, you got to give it more than even 2 episodes to get
new ships.
going.
Yeah,
That's
Yeah.
it.
Would you feel okay if your chair suddenly transformed? You're now sitting in a
the
chair,
chair. Yeah,
and it take over, and you get up and walk away, and it's like,
and they did the Lax Sivrak.
that was awesome. That was
Yeah.
like, what?
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah. So they gave us like new ships, new planets, all this different stuff.
yeah.
Some familiar sights.
New accents.
I can't really say that it was bad. I can't say
It wasn't bad.
it wasn't groundbreaking, but it was like, okay, it felt Star Wars. Let's see where this goes. And we've
there
got
were
8
production
episodes. As
errors and continuity errors and something
Yeah.
Right.
I didn't like.
Yeah,
that's
what's nice is there
every.
aren't any continuity errors because we don't have anything else from this era.
That's it.
Well, I just mean scene to scene, like when she crashed in the ship strapped and then she woke up on the ground.
Yeah.
You know.
You've
Right.
been
Well,
in a
and the
really bad
thing
car
with the-
crash?
Yeah.
I woke up about 30 feet away from my car.
Well,
Vanessa
but she
Rowe.
didn't. But she didn't. It didn't look like that kind of crash, though. Like I've had a similar experience, but that.
No, because
she was-
all Star Wars crashes now, they just break the wings off and maybe a little bit of the tail, and then
Yeah.
glide perfectly
And
down
they
onto
glide
whatever.
from-
they're
yeah. Those
crashing
must
on.
be some strong ass ships, huh? They must be badass.
John's quoting the books.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's so tough because they'll tell you they're not going to go by these books anymore, and then they end up doing it.
Yeah.
Thrawn.
Just cherry pick certain things out of it.
Yeah, Thrawn and
Yeah.
that type of stuff. I
John,
don't know.
Give me
Oh,
a
no,
call,
they
John, when you get a
cherry
chance.
pick
Not
what they
tonight, but
want.
I have
'Cause
something
they-
to ask you.
They let some people in the press and probably some shills see the first 4 episodes, and people were saying by that 3rd one you'll just
There's some big event.
original trilogy guys will just turn their backs on it forever. But I don't know. We
Now, are they
gotta-
going to drop at midnight Tuesday, or is it going to be 9?
it was like 6 p.m. my time.
Yeah, we
this
were 9
week.
p.m. on the East Coast for
Yeah.
yesterday.
Is it
It was
Tuesday again?
8 I think it was 8 our time, Brett.
Is it Tuesday again?
I don't know.
Or was it 6?
No, that was 6 Eastern. So that's
6
8
Eastern. Yeah,
our-
you're right. 7 my time.
When is the Acolyte on?
Bam.
There it is.
Chris knows
Yep.
what to
Google is your friend.
is it.
It's on Tuesdays
Tuesdays.
until the
Yeah, they-
season finale on July 16th.
Okay. All of the female-led Star Wars shows are on Taco Tuesday for a reason.
Hmm.
And then I don't know what we're gonna get after that. Marvel Wednesdays,
Schlong Thursdays.
something meaty
How many of the
meaty Mondays.
Marvel shows moved forward after the writer's strike and the actor's strike?
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
And you don't have to look any further than what's happened with Captain America 4. That movie was almost complete to the
They
point where they were
reshooting.
doing visual effects.
Yeah.
It got yanked. 22 days of reshoots and a completely new character. added.
Jesus.
Yeah.
The toys, that was last month's toys at McDonald's.
Look who's on.
Look at this guy.
Cold.
Marvel's all over the place too. Like, what didn't they have that with Blade and all that too?
Yeah.
Big issues. Unta.
Although the
Unta
newest
Eve.
is that they
Unta
want
Eve
Ryan
pod
Gosling
racing.
to play Ghost Rider.
I'm telling him in the chat that we got him on screen. He's
Okay.
talking about G.I. Joe stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, next week let's do it again, guys. You guys will all.
All right.
If you
Yeah.
want to come back, I'd love to have you.
Huh?
What time do you guys start today?
I had to do it early today. We were trying not to step on Ed's toes because we were trying to get him back.
Yeah.
And his work schedule is different today. So next week I might do it the night of the show, right afterwards.
Okay.
So I'll let you guys know. I'll message you again.
All right. Cool.
That's
I
nice.
appreciate it.
Chris, it was an honor to finally be on screen with you, young man.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hey,
Thanks for jumping on, brother.
Yeah, nice to see you too, man.
All right, guys. Let's go
And
over
awesome.
and
I only caught the
plug that
first
guy. I
like
hope he's done.
45 minutes of Tub Thumpers, but awesome.
yeah, I've now got small piles of things everywhere that I've got to put back.
Yeah, I know how that. I do the same thing. I get all a bunch of
Good.
shit down and ready to show, and then you go. Oh. The other night I was somewhere, and I had to tell him. I said, "Look, I got to pick all this shit up before my wife gets home." I said, "I got to pick all this shit up."
Wait, is that new? No, I bought that like 2 months ago.
Yeah.
Give it
no,
to
you
me.
haven't seen that. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It was a
All right.
pleasure. And like all in all, hey, so all in all, real quick before we go, out of 10, what are we giving the first 2 episodes?
5.
Give it like
Okay.
I'd give it an 8.
There you go.
Yeah, I would.
Brett?
I would give it an
Wasn't
8.
anything
I'm like a
groundbreaking.
high 6, 7.
Yeah.
All right.
Like
I'm
I
in
said,
the
I'm a cheap
six.
date. It had to really suck for me to hate
Oh.
it. But
I hope that
Oh.
it has room to improve, not get worse.
A major complaint about episode 2 is all the snow stuff. That looked like they were sitting on the set of Guns on Ice Planet Zero from Battlestar Galactica.
Mhm.
It was
Yeah.
horrible fake walls, fake
Totally meant to be a
snow.
Hoth throwback too, you know.
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm sure it was
Yeah.
supposed to, but
I think
all
they
could
missed
think
a
of was
real
Starbuck and
opportunity.
others.
They missed an opportunity for those Jedis to fight a Wampa or something. You
Yeah.
know?
Or a whole pack of them.
What they
Something.
missed the opportunity is to show us Jawas honestly go to ice planets too and have like
Yeah.
a white sand crawler crawl
Ooh.
past.
Yeah,
Ooh,
snow
nice.
camouflage
Yeah.
or something. Yeah.
That'd be
The
awesome.
Jawas with like
Well,
a little
I'm right
fur
in there
coat.
with you guys. I'm in the 6, 7, maybe 7.5. I'm in there.
All right.
You know, because it's hard to hate something that you just saw that much time of. You know,
Yeah.
Like, what,
Dean's with me with the strong 8. All right.
Dean's
Yeah,
got
As
the 8.
always,
Yeah.
more
Rick's got the
Gontroids,
7.5.
more
Rick,
hammerheads.
I'm shocked that
exactly.
Rick. Wow.
Chris. Give us
Um,
a few aliens and stuff we've seen. just for
Surprisingly, yeah, I definitely am glad I didn't go in with any preconceived hate or toxicity. I just
No.
went in and said, let's see what we see. And I have to say, way better than I anticipated.
Right. Right. I'm gonna rewatch them tonight. Actually.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
probably
give them a second go around.
Yeah. Yeah. I definitely think they do deserve a second look because there's
Yeah.
little nuances. You know, when Carrie Ann Moss calls her a child and
Mhm.
she's doing this stance, you know, face me with all your power for some reason. Why are you asking that? Why are you saying
Yeah.
all your power? Why is that necessary? Are you going to drain something from her, or you know what I mean? So there's a lot of little nuance in there that we're not. It's like
I'll
new.
definitely have to watch
new
it again,
lore.
'cause
Yeah.
I don't have enough to hate.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I feel like I was
You could
I
pick it
cheated
apart.
out
You
of
know
my
what I
hate.
mean?
I was all ready to hate it.
Yeah, I mean, you could pick it apart.
I don't even know if you can pick it apart that much because I
You
went in.
could. You could.
I mean, I
These
don't
hate
know. I don't
channels.
think you could realistically. Like, I don't want to say like anti woke, but maybe I am.
No, but the hate
But-
channels that are out
But
there
like they could have
thriving
shoved
on that
way
could
worse
definitely.
shit
That's
down
what
our
they
throat.
want. Yeah.
You know, they
Yeah.
could have shoved way more shit down our
Oh,
throat, and they did.
totally.
You know, so
I will have to say, apart from OSHA and May, I haven't learned any of their names because I don't know if I care enough yet.
right.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah,
guess
good point.
Because those are easy to remember. as well.
They are pretty easy, and they say it like 50 times. That's
Yeah.
my problem too. They don't say everybody's name 50 times.
Right.
What was main Jedi's name? Is it Saul?
I think it's Saul.
Saul's yeah, he's the main guy.
When you order Qui-Gon from Wish,
Yeah.
you get Saul.
Well,
No, Saul was a badass in his own right.
It's spelled right too. Is there?
And wouldn't you freak out if he was the acolyte, or if he was pulling the acolyte strings? Ooh,
Who knows?
you know.
Yeah, maybe he's trying to seek revenge on.
Well, remember,
counterparts
like the
that
Emperor
he-
said, "Strike me down." Why would you tell somebody to kill you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's something he knew. So maybe that's like Saul's telling the acolyte,
Yeah. Who knows?
"You're gonna come after me too."
Stay
He
tuned.
does keep hollow pictures of young girls.
Yeah, that was
Yes,
the best.
that boy got issues.
He's like,
Yeah.
That girl came in the room like,
yeah.
"What are you looking at?
what are
Yeah.
you looking at?
You like
Yeah.
nothing?
Nothing.
Was that my mom?" Definitely wasn't.
My son was using my computer. That wasn't me.
Yeah.
That's right. That browser history. Maybe go see the librarian.
The Jedi archives have been tainted.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
and if the Acolyte has any kind of canon stuff going forward, could this be the reason that they don't take kids that are like 8 anymore? Because
Oh.
she failed
Yeah.
out, and her
Yeah, good
sister
thought.
learned and is evil.
Yeah. Because didn't
I would
she
like
say
to know
there
what
were?
the conversation was when she left the order. Do they say, "Don't practice, don't learn anymore"?
Right.
Yeah.
You know,
And she mentioned something about when she was a little kid how they didn't want her because of her emotional state.
Mhm.
Well, they didn't
And
learn any
she
lessons
left
because I give you
under her own
Anakin
decision, though,
Skywalker.
right?
Oh,
Same
yeah,
thing
her-
like they
her
didn't want
mom-
Anakin because of what
Her
he did.
moms and
Yeah.
her sister were just burned alive in front of her, apparently.
Right.
And then you want to say, well, she's has some emotional issues.
She has
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
a little,
Trouble
Yeah.
a
child.
wee bit.
a few little things might be off. Yeah.
What about that other little girl that it was the other black girl in the thing, and everybody assumed that was her in a flashback, and she's like, "I see fire
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
burning." And I was like,
Burning.
whoa!
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
And
then
even
Saul was like,
he
"All right,
got
let's
this
go to lunch."
concerned look on his
Exactly.
face, and he
Saul was like,
"Oh."
and she's out.
Yeah,
Nick.
she was like,
That was the
"Whoop,
only
mark her
thing-
off."
In the first episode, that for a second I went, oh no, when Osha was outside doing the repair with the magnetic boots, and the thing caught fire. I'm like, how the fuck is that burning in space? But okay,
Right.
I get it.
Yeah,
We
Right.
can hear
right.
stuff,
Right.
things blow up.
Right.
Like, all right, just stop.
They're
here,
in
stop.
the outer inner atmosphere.
I almost went there though. I was just-
They're in the
It's
outer
in the
inner. There you
firefly.
go.
yeah.
They're in the outer inner atmosphere.
Yes,
So.
and she quit Jedi school to be a mechanic. So
I
yeah,
think it's nice to just at least see someone in space wearing apparatus that looks like they need it in space. Because so many times, like in Rebels, right?
Yeah.
In Rebels,
Oh yeah.
they just like put on a stormtrooper helmet and free dive from
Yeah.
space.
Yeah.
Like the pressure's not going to just rip you apart.
What
So
was
it
the
was-
point of having that one guy in his full astronaut costume in the cantina?
Yeah.
Somebody, he must be doing something.
he was a mechanic.
He's got a skin condition.
Yeah, exactly.
He was
just
a
always
mechanic
thought,
and he needed a
couldn't-
drink.
he was
Pod
from
racing
somewhere.
Palpatine.
Yeah,
If the Jedi have a problem, better call Saul.
there
That's
you go.
There it is.
funny.
That's funny. He doesn't look Druish.
Yeah.
Ah.
That's gonna be a T-shirt in Comic Con. You watch.
Yep.
Not if we make it first.
It's gonna
Exactly.
be a public
Not if we capitalize.
That's right.
Do
The
it.
real money from the Acolyte can be made by releasing one action figure.
All
I
right,
did like
guys.
those. Okay,
Let's do it
Wait.
again. Let's
We'll
do it
do it
again next
again.
week.
We'll see you
maybe
guys next week.
episode
See what
3
we
will
think.
give us all just blow our minds and we'll hate it. Who knows? Maybe it'll go from 8 to 0. Who knows?
And then what do we do? There's still going to be 5 more episodes.
We still should watch it so we can, and then we'll jump on the negative bandwagon.
Yeah,
Fine.
what else is on?
There
Start
you
a
go.
channel. Yeah.
The shit
Exactly.
show.
That's
What else
Star
is on?
Wars. Yeah.
We'll call
All
it
right, guys. I'll see
the
you later.
Acolyte
All right, guys.
episode 3
Ciao.
and 4, but really mostly 3. And then we're
Yeah.
going to watch some.
I'm
Supernatural.
I'm leery about next week. We'll see
We'll
what
see.
happens. We'll see you guys later. Thanks
All right.
again.
All right.
I'll
Chris,
See you guys.
Gary, good
Later.
to see you guys. Brett, love you, baby.
Yep. See you, bud. There you have it. We'll see you guys next week. Come on back and remember, be cool.